Ladies and gentlemen, and generally ladies, on this week's On the Rocks, we chat with choreographer and dancer who made Super Bowl history with the LA Rams, Quinton Peron. We also chat with love and dating with some more relationship app CEO Adam Cohen-Aslatei with my special guest co-host, hot off the Oscars, ABC's On the Red Carpet, hottie Karl Schmid, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
Banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buns and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. So Tom Cruise literally saved a stunt person's life on the set of Mission Impossible 7. Or was it Mission Impossible 7000? I have lost track. Same storyline, same stunts. Anyway, the dude is pushing 58. He's out saving lives at 58, and I can't even save money at 28. Anyway, like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air and on Facebook, On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email, book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will be there and host. Info at OnTheRocksRadioShow.com. The show is presented by Straw Hut Media. You can watch and or listen to our now over 244 episodes for free at OnTheRocksRadioShow.com. Hello to our listeners around the nation on every major podcast platform, on Facebook Watch, and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV at OutAt.tv. Share, subscribe, leave a comment, leave your phone number. I'm single. Kurt, do you have a pun for us?
Yes, I do.
You're so punny.
I got a request for this one. So, did you know an Australian kiss is just like a French kiss?
I have had both.
But down under.
Oh, Kurt, that is naughty.
I love it.
My mother is watching this show.
See what you did there?
That was a double whammy. You didn't give yourself like a double drum for that?
I'm not on that screen. Sorry.
That was naughty. He is usually like
good.
rated G.
No, but he knew I was here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, and he's like, we gotta sauce it up.
I knew the audience.
No, you're gonna sauce it up. Anyway, thank you, Kurt's Pun. Kurt's Pun is brought to us by our presenting sponsor, JustFor.Fans. You will have more fun over at JustFor.Fans than you had listening to
you
that.
have a sponsored pun on this show?
Yes.
Oh,
Girl, you think I'm gonna have those puns for free?
Jeez.
We've all been a little socially distant, warm connection. So JustFor.Fans is the industry award-winning top site connecting adult content creators with their fans. There's musicians on there too. So sign up for free at JustFor.Fans, and they give back to the community. They keep giving and giving and receiving. Okay, let me welcome my returning guest co-host, adding some international class to my sass, and that ass, by the way, I might add. Karl Schmid, Australian-born, has been busy on American, Canadian, British, and Australian television for the last 14 years. I think that's a typo. I think there's another decade in there. At ABC 7, he's been a regular contributor since joining the team in 2013 as a correspondent and producer on the syndicated On the Red Carpet, which we just watched for the Oscars. Since then, he's become known to SoCal audiences through ABC 7, whether it be from On the Red Carpet or Rams primetime Saturday night. I have a feeling we're going to have a story about that. To also be in the faces of SoCal Spotlight segments, to contributing to Eyewitness News Stories and our coverage of LA Pride for the first time televised. He was there front and center. His unmistakable accent and passion to entertain and inform makes him a proud member of the ABC 7 family. Still haven't called me. But outside of ABC 7, he has hosted the Royal Wedding Live from London for TLC, taken television viewers on an emotional journey as the host of Logo's Operation Vacation for 2 seasons, and provided entertainment and Hollywood news for British morning television. British morning television? How exciting could that be? It's like dry tea and scones.
Come on now.
Yes, well, passionate activist in the fight against HIV stigma, he launched Plus Life in 2019 online to help foster a new conversation about what it means for people living with HIV to tackle the stigma still associated with the virus. Plus Life airs nationally on the ABC-owned Localish TV network and will soon be streaming on Hulu, which I'm very excited about because we need this education streaming everywhere, especially now that we're all heading back to society. Please welcome back Karl Schmid.
It's a pleasure.
I know.
It's a pleasure. And you forgot to mention one of your sponsors, Uberlube.
Oh, they're coming up.
Who have disinfected these headphones, which is fantastic because my ears have never been so slippery or clean. Thank you, Uberlube.
Wow. Thank you. They're going to clip that and sell that.
They
I
should.
hope you know that.
I want some money. Cheers. Well, it's nice to be back.
Well, it's fabulous to have you. Bernie Guzman says hello to you, by the way.
Hello, Bernie Guzman.
Hello, Bernie. You could have brought us something to eat. He's a Beverly Hills chef.
And I've been starving myself because it was the Oscars, so I'm ready to eat.
I loved your green jacket, by the way.
Thank you. So did a bird that shit on it about...
It's good luck.
That's what I'm... For who?
The bird. It's like, I can finally fly free.
No, I want to say my friend Troy Anthony did that, and he's very sweet. I wasn't so sure about it, but yeah, it's
fabulous.
It was good, and literally about 5 seconds before I went live in a shot, I looked down and there was bird shit down my lapel, in my hair.
God.
No, yeah, it was lovely. But good luck to those who didn't win an Oscar, because whatever.
Well, they probably thought it was the fashion choice.
Well, there were no trees around, so I just like maybe...
Remember the dress on the Oprah interview?
That's right. That's right. Well, don't get me started on that. It's early. It's nice to be back. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, whenever we have you in, it's always a really fun conversation. You have special connection to our guest today, and obviously off of the Oscars. Now, we know that this year was very different for many different reasons. Of course, the obvious. But the Oscars had the lowest ratings in history.
Down by 53%. We were, I think,
10 million.
Just under 10 million, which is phenomenal. It's
still a lot, by the way.
Well, if in this day and age, but it's interesting because I thought visually they looked great, but I do agree they were a snooze fest. And I thought it was interesting that because we're so used to it starting with Best Supporting Actress and Best Supporting, and then it goes, and they really kind of went everywhere with the categories this year. But nobody was stopping the speeches. So Best Sound Editing, congratulations, and you deserve your moment. But they went on for 10 minutes, and I'm sitting there going, oh, this is going long.
Okay, that I agree with. I actually liked mixing it up because we know we don't really have to be there for like 45 minutes of it, but because you didn't know, I thought it added a different energy. And here's the thing. And I wanted to pick your brain, obviously.
Pick away.
So, I'm a fan of classic Hollywood. I'm the nerd that will watch classic Oscar
me too. I go down the YouTube hole watching.
Me too. 3 a.m, you have one eye open, and you're like, oh God, she was classy. And we recently had George Chakiris on the show, who won an Academy Award for West Side Story.
Yes.
And we replayed his acceptance with Shirley Jones. If you watch those ceremonies, they, of course, we know it started at the Roosevelt, but there was none of these, dick jokes or political jokes. It wasn't about hamming it to the camera. Nobody was twerking. It was having respect for all the work that's put on. I don't know where maybe we got into it with like the Billy Crystal hosting, where it became this like roast of everybody.
Well, and also, because
I love to roast.
No, I know, but if you go back, I mean, originally they weren't televised, and when those first ones at the Roosevelt,
it was a luncheon.
And it was around dinner tables. So they weren't televised. I think once you start to televise something, you need to kind of amp it up for entertainment value, and I think that's where you mentioned Billy Crystal. I would go back as far as Bob Hope to start saying,
perfect
and Johnny Carson even,
where their outrageous jokes were classy and they had some tact to them. It's become like this carnival and like this comedy show. It's like, we're respecting these huge names that made some powerful films this year. So we need a fart joke?
So do you think it was shocking then, because we're so used to like things dropping from the ceiling and Jimmy Kimmel ordering pizza for people and Ellen DeGeneres having a moment?
It's like, who can out-gimmick the other?
Do you think it was a bit jarring then to go back to something that was a little more sort of serious about what the craft was? I mean, also there was a lot of political tone, rightfully so, for a lot of, which is heavier stuff. And I also think that they were thinking, we can't be seen to be having too much fun this year.
Right. And did you see the debacle that, was it the Golden Globes this year? Like the worst award ceremony I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm going to tell the truth. Because of all of this, I've sort of zoned out from watching these things this year.
Okay, so that has the nation, like it made the headlines that the Oscars were, the lowest ratings, but all of the award show have had horrible ratings. So is it because that our minds are somewhere else? Because I feel people did actually watch the films, and nobody, I made a joke earlier that nobody wants to see rich people dressing up in rich clothes to eat, to go on the rich red carpet
and pat themselves on the back.
To get a gold for a movie that they made millions from.
No, I think that's an interesting point, and I think that has come up more and more over the years, and I think anyone who takes on as a producer these award shows is more and more aware of that conversation. Oh, look at us. We're Hollywood. We're rich. We're typically white. We're entitled. And, we're going to pat ourselves on the back and advertisers are going to spend millions and millions of dollars in our show, and I think we're getting a little weary of that. And I think Oscar producers are aware of that. I think this year's producers did a good job in trying to balance that, and again balance what's going on with the pandemic. From what I saw, and because I'm working a lot of it, so I'm sort of half listening to the telecast, but also ahead for the post show that I do. I found it a little nauseatingly slow. I have to say, and I will probably get fired for this. I found look, Quentin's already gone. Oh, he's done it already. The pre-show, I think the talent was great on the network pre-show, but there was no energy. The girl, I forget her name. She's an actress, and she was great. And her co-host, who was in, I think, in one of the nominated movies, both great people. But there was no energy in it. There was no level, and they didn't crosstalk to each other. And I was falling asleep. Cheers.
I have so many comments
Here's
on this,
to me
and I'm going
not
to keep
being
it succinct so we
employed
can get to our
tomorrow.
guest. But here's the thing is, some people have a talent for doing what you do, where you know that you kind of need that energy. You know how to read a teleprompter and add life to it. Some of these actors are great actors. They don't know how to be on a talk show to even talk about themselves. They don't know how to do that. And, you know, there's a lot, you know this, there's a lot going on. So somebody new to the environment is probably like a deer in headlights. And it was very somber, and I think that they were reflecting it. They went way to the other side.
I agree. And here's the question, and Howard Stern brought this up this morning. Will they go to the absolute other extreme next year to compensate for
My
it?
question to you is
Please.
Joan Rivers totally gone from the red carpet, or is there a time that we can bring that kind of personality back? Because not only do we have that we're all going through financial and COVID hard times, we're also trying to be super politically
Well,
correct.
I would hope so, but my fear is not for any time soon. You're right. We have become incredibly politically correct. And look, I think we've become a lot more aware, which I think is really important. But I think, yes, we've become very politically correct. And I will say, as a white man of privilege, I'm
You're a little tan now.
I'm a little
You're a
tan.
little bronzed up.
I'm very, very, very aware when I go into these things. And you know, I am a little sassy and sarcastic, right? But I am now so aware of treading a line. And part of me is, I look, I never want to offend or upset somebody. And I think there's an art to walking the line of it going, oh, will he or won't he? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go over the line and you go, ah. And I think the real talent is to tread the line and people go, oh, but he didn't. And I like to think that I somehow manage that. But I am, whenever I go into anything live now, I am so conscious, and it's not a bad thing, that I have to really be thinking, who am I going to upset now? And it gets, I get in trouble. I get in trouble at work.
Sweat a little bit.
I do.
But then your creativity kind of goes out the window
and
too.
that's the point. Your creativity goes out the window. And I think if you look, you know, Joan Rivers, if, you know, you look at other comedians out there, they've been silenced a little bit. Look, the world needs laughter now more than ever. And the reality is that the best comedy comes out of truth, right? So that's when we laugh at things. Again, it's a fine line of being cruel and hurtful, or pointing out and being observationalist and going, the fact that is so stupid, it's funny. But we are at a point where I think a lot of people are afraid. Networks are afraid. Advertisers are afraid. Talent like me are afraid. And that makes me a bit sad. I read something the other day that a friend of mine in Australia wrote on Facebook, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but it sort of resonated with me. He said, you know, he posted this thing. He said, he's almost 60. He won't mind me saying that because I'm not mentioning his name, but he's like, I'm a gay white man, almost 60. I'm aware of my entitlement.
It's Neil Patrick Harris.
I'm aware of my entitlement. I've had a very charmed life. I've worked hard, but he said, but I have now accepted the fact that I will always be on the wrong side of the conversation. I will never be right in the conversation. And the question is, do I want to be right and piss everyone off, or do I just go, I'll keep my mouth shut. And he goes, it's easier to keep my mouth shut.
It's a dangerous time. It's a dangerous time for anybody right now. But I have to say, I watch you on TV, and you and I have offline conversations, and we can get pretty sassy and pretty pointed. But never on air have you ever gotten close to that line, because you know how to be funny, but you also know how to do your job in a very respectful way. Well, plus, you come from a different culture. Here in America, I mean, we burp and make a joke out of it.
We can't say sex in here because, thank you for saying that. And look, I never ever want to hurt someone's feelings. And if I find out that I have through something, I go into super overdrive of, oh my God, I feel terrible about it. So, look, I think it was an interesting year. I'm glad that the Oscars happened. I'm glad that they happened in person. I'm glad they happened without masks. I'm glad that we got to sort of see a bit of reality in the sense that it's hope, and that's what we're all working towards. CDC's talk of masks outside today, and I fingers crossed after the 4 years of crap that we had and the mess that was made last year, that we are now finally, America seems to be doing the right thing with the vaccine. We're leading the world, whereas this time last year, we were the shit heap. Now we're out front, and my fingers are crossed. And please, people, just go and get vaccinated. Honestly,
I think we have leadership that's actually watching out for us, so that everybody can now get the vaccine way ahead of time.
Correct.
And so we all need to do our part, and we look better with masks on anyway, most of us. So
yes.
Just wear them still. It's no biggie. All right,
I agree.
Let's get this show on the road. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have Adam Cohen-Aslatei.
Oh, I've got a minute to go wee.
No, this is not.
Oh, okay.
This is a live on the air break.
Oh, okay.
You do have an actual break.
Okay.
Coming up. So, God, it's been 10 minutes in. All right, when we come back. All right, so... oh, my Lord. I want to welcome Adam Cohen-Aslatei. Is the
Adam's
founder...
been falling asleep, by the way.
He's in New York. He's like, girl, I talk to Bravo TV. We don't have to be politically correct. Adam is the founder and CEO of S'more, the new anti-superficial relationship app that's all about getting to know a person before deciding if you like them and before you actually see them. The more you chat, the clearer they become, which is funny because after my happy hour dates, the more I chat, the less clear they become.
Yeah, but the better looking you become.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
God, I just need 2 bottles then. Adam is the former managing director of Chappie, Bumble's gay dating app, and is a 10-year industry... That's another app. Scruff is a 10-year industry vet, having worked for companies including the Meat Group, Spark Network, and S'more has widely been covered by media sources including The View, Comedy Central, Forbes, Elle, Wall Street Journal, Wash Post, and more. And the company even owns its celebrity dating show, which is so fun. Some of the craziest reality TV people and some podcasters that you might recognize. Go to Instagram at S'moreDate and watch this live show every week. It is such a hoot. And you see literally some of your favorites. And they say things, it's like the Graham Norton show where they say things that you've never heard them talk about before. And all secrets are revealed. Please welcome Adam. I like to say just CS because it's like...
Because you can't pronounce his last name.
No,
what a good host.
Cohen-Aslatei.
You can call me ACA. That's what everyone calls me.
ACA.
Easier. I'm an acronym.
Yeah.
Call me an acronym.
There we go. All right. You have been a very, very busy boy. And like I said, I love watching all of your celebrity interviews. I want your tips on how you get these celebrities to open up about their sex life, their worst dates, their sex tips. And it's from people that you're like, I didn't know that they could talk that way.
What are my tips? So, you know what? I feel like the one thing that everyone has in common, I think, is talking about the weather, talking about food, and talking about relationships. We've all been in relationships. They've all been, some of them have been horrible, some of them have been great, but we all can relate and connect with people based on relationships. So it's fun to share your craziest relationship story or dating story that no one would ever believe. When you share those kinds of stories, you feel like you're not the only one. Like I'm not the only one in the world to be single. Bad things happen to all people, and hopefully we can learn from one another. So actually, the celebrities are very forthcoming. What they're not forthcoming about is telling me what other celebrities are flirtatiously DMing them, which is really what I want to know.
They will never say that. And, well, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, no, I want to know what Adam's like craziest dating experience was then.
Yeah.
Well, no, I need to prepare for this because
What do you mean prepare for it?
No.
I'm allowed to ask,
yes,
right?
You are.
Thank you.
Okay, my craziest dating story ever. So I came out super late. So I was in the closet. I was living in LA, and a publicist friend of mine said, I have a really good guy that I'd like you to go on a date with. I think he'd be great for you and whatever.
Is that Jennifer Hahn told you that? Is it? No, because she said, I know your friends. She set me up with dates too. So I'm just curious.
He's a big time LA publicist guy. No, not different person.
Okay.
And he said, you'll meet him, you'll have a drink. He's on a TV show. It's a reality show. It's one of those singing competitions, whatever. I wasn't watching any singing competitions, so what did I know? I'm a sheltered Jewish boy from Canada, having fun living in LA. So all of a sudden, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but all of a sudden I get to this restaurant and I see someone who looks like I would never, I never dated, had never been on a date with someone that looked that way. It was very punk rocker.
Oh, you just just gave it away, by the way. You
totally
could you not have been a little more subtle?
Sorry, boo. I'm going to text him right now.
Yeah.
He just got quiet.
Anyways, basically, yeah. I mean, it was a crazy dating story for sure. But I think the craziest dating story that I heard was from Elise Slane from The Real Housewives of New York, and she went on this blind date in Central Park with this guy who had a Great Dane, and she saw the guy and she was immediately not attracted to him. She was walking down the path with this guy and this Great Dane. The Great Dane took a big poop in the middle of the pathway. The guy had nothing to clean up the poop with, so he grabbed a leaf from a tree.
Oh God! Oh God! No!
The poop,
wait, but I think that's nice that he was picking up the dog poop. I would have just left it.
The poop fell out of the guy's
God, I can't wait to hear about your date night.
On the side.
Oh,
they continue to walk to the picnic location. They sit down. They open up the blanket. He realizes that he forgot the utensils for his picnic. So he goes in. Yeah, he wipes his hand on his pants. He breaks the chicken in half with his poop hand.
What a man! What a man!
What a man! What a man! What a man!
She's freaking out at this point, and then the dog lifts up his leg and takes a piss on her face.
Oh my God!
Well, listen, I will say this: dogs are very
people
smart.
Have tried to do worse.
Dogs are very clever.
Yeah, so he could tell
the dog
that she's not right for you.
Correct.
That she's too fussy.
Talk about an insane date. We also had a really good conversation with Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist, Christopher Buckle. I don't know if you know him.
What a last name, though. Buckle. Mr. Buckle.
He had an insane, crazy dating story. He went out to date this guy, and he had an ankle injury. So upon returning from dinner, the Uber lets him off a couple blocks early. He's now walking with this guy to his apartment. This guy grabs the keys from Christopher's hand and runs to his apartment, lets himself in, locks the door, and locks Christopher outside of his apartment.
Why?
He had to go to the toilet.
He's banging on the door. He can't get in. He doesn't know if he should call the cops. He doesn't know this guy very well. He's banging for 8 minutes. He finally opens the door. This guy is now standing, opens the door. He's wearing his bathrobe. He's naked in his bathrobe.
Oh, he thought it was romantic.
And he also took a big shit in his...
I told you, I told you.
If I have to, I can't even say the word because I have such bathroom issues. I will cut the date short. I have left Disneyland and drive all the way to LA because I have to go to the bathroom.
I've been in a hotel, left the hotel, and gone to the hotel next door to use the bathroom.
And then they close.
Not with you. But this is interesting that you say all this, Adam, because this kind of now makes sense as to why you created Small Date.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's a whole different experience.
Here's the real news. Whether you're gay, you're straight, or you're on a spectrum, you're in between, and some people have been in between or not knowing. Every single dating app wants you to make a decision based on a photo. And if you're looking for sex tonight, maybe that's the way to go. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship, filtering a person just based on a headshot when it's probably airbrushed, it's fake, or it's really old is not the way to go. You want to hear a person's voice first. You want to listen to their favorite music. You want to engage with who they are. And then over time, get to see who they are. Of course, physical attraction is important, but we're making these instant decisions based on very little information and hoping that'll get us to the altar, and it's getting us nowhere. So we basically flipped the script, and we are getting you to have a conversation, and then, as you do, you see more of the person, similar to the show Love is Blind on Netflix.
I like it.
Which I totally understand. I mean, hello, I'm one for body positivity. I mean, my looks change by the hour. I can have a glass of water, and I'm like, I'm Kirstie Alley all of a sudden. But we also can't forget that physical attraction is a big part of it. Yes. When relationships stop being physically attracted to each other, we know COVID's been challenging for all of us. Yes. That kind of part of the relationship can go away. So I love the idea of this app. I'm also very honest about if I'm not physically attracted to somebody, it's going to take a lot for me to work through that. Now, that's not to say that I haven't started dating somebody that I become friends with because their personality was so great, and I then it wasn't even an issue.
Well, that's the organic kind of conversation that we've been missing because typically you go to a bar, club,
especially during
restaurant,
COVID.
Equinox, the.
Oh yes, I'm at Equinox.
Yeah,
part of it's closed.
it's open. They're back.
If you're Karl Schmid, they open it for you. They're
No,
like,
they
"Oh,
don't. I can't afford
So
Equinox.
Steam Room's been a little lonely
I
lately.
was gonna say that Steam Room must be getting its.
Why are you both of you now with the Steam Room? Look at my boyfriend's
be a
face.
member of that
We haven't
thing.
even met him
You
yet.
don't have this nice skin just from going to a spa, okay?
It's.
I follow my boyfriend's skin regime. We'll get to him in a minute.
Well, it looks good. It
Thank
looks
you.
great.
No, Karl
And by the
always
way,
looks
Zoom-
flawless.
And by the way, Zoom does a great deal of airbrushing for you too. So like for me,
Don't ruin the moment, Adam.
I
You were
didn't
on a
know
good-
that
you were
until I
doing
put on
well.
so much concealer once, and it was for a date, by the way, on Zoom. I looked like that Mexican psychic who died,
Yeah.
the Walter Mercado, because I was glowing.
Mucho
And I had
amor.
this lip gloss. I was like,
Wait, you dated? So you did the Zoom dating
during
thing?
COVID. We all thought COVID was going to be over in, like a few weeks. When it was month 2, and I literally hadn't brushed my hair or taken a shower.
You had a beard. I was frightened.
Oh, I can grow a beard. Like tomorrow morning, I'll have like bleh.
yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to do it for the first time, and it was so nerve wracking. And this was before I had met you, Adam. This was before I did your show. It was a whole different experience because I still drank too much. But you literally just could sit there, and you had to just pay attention to the other person. You didn't have friends stop by and say, "Oh, hey, I saw you at the restaurant, and let's have a chat." All you had to do was focus, and small talk didn't really work on Zoom.
No, it doesn't.
Because it came across so trivial. And then you find out that you actually have issues going on. We all had issues during COVID, whether it was work, whether it was depression, whether it was family stuff. And then it was like a real conversation. But I looked ridiculous.
But it gets deep really fast, or it gets ended really fast.
well,
But I
see,
think,
and that's the benefit. You're like,
imagine you're at a bar, right? And so
Every
you're getting
day.
a drink at a bar,
Every
you're
day.
listening to some music at a bar, and you start talking with someone. He's attractive, but you're not really looking at him in that way yet. The more you chat with this guy, the more you discover how many similarities you have. You've been to the same concerts, you're from that same town, you both like spaghetti and meatballs,
Exactly.
and have things in common. It grows on you so much more than just the guy with like 17 abs and like the perfect skin. It's cute to look at, but how are you going to sleep with that? That's like sleeping with a wall. That doesn't really work out.
well, hey, COVID was rough. I
Listen,
did sleep with
it was it a brick wall or a stucco?
They were consenting. They were
brick
stuck
wall.
on me. So, Adam, I want to know, now that, we're all going back to society and things are slowly coming back, I know people are going on dates. I know a lot of my friends have already gone on dates. But COVID has been a time of self-reflection. We kind of rediscovered ourselves, and we're happy with ourselves. Like, my Trekkie nerdyism came back full force, and now I'm wearing a uniform to Taco Bell because I want to do it, because I learned during COVID, I can wear what I want. So do you think that we're going to go back into the dating field really confident because we've had this time of self-reflection, or do you think people are so lonely that they're like, okay, it's a cat lover without a job that lives with their mom. I'm so lonely, I'm going to go on that date. And I mean,
No,
date.
I think that COVID was a big reckoning, right? There's so many singles in the world. And even if you're in a city like New York, you never really felt alone. You had so much to do. You just go downstairs and you have a party, you go to, a local bar. But I think, when you're in COVID by yourself in quarantine, you realize why you are alone. And I think that we've been treating relationships like they're disposable for 10 years.
Totally.
And part of it is the fault of dating apps. Dating apps make you
And Sex in the City, too.
And Sex and the City. Society, dating apps, all this stuff makes you feel like relationships are made to order. I can order the perfect guy, girl, or anything in between. They'll show up at my house and we'll get married. But I got news for you that you can order sex to your house.
But
You can't
Adam,
order a relationship.
But
to your
don't you think? I think that I don't think it's just the dating apps. I think it's Facebook, Instagram, and everything. Because
Facebook has become this weird
if you go
place.
back as old as we are, I'm looking at you, Alex. No, but
How old do you think I am, sweetie?
But we didn't have any of that stuff, and there's something to be said for the fact that I think I'm of the last wave of that generation that met people when I was 19, 20, 21 going to bars.
Yeah.
That's how I met people, right? And so it wasn't so disposable. It wasn't a swipe left, swipe right. It was actually you chatted and did all of that.
I came from the M for M chat rooms on AOL.
There it is.
And you would go meet somebody at a coffee shop and you had they would describe what they look
Right.
like, but you couldn't, if you
Or
wanted to download a picture, it
gay.com.
was like,
Yeah.
zzz.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
would take 5 minutes to upload a photo.
Right.
But,
I'm
you
with
had
that.
a conversation with the person first, even before you exchange the photo.
Exactly. Or before you even
But then you would show up and you'd see them and then you would just get back in your car.
Yeah.
And then go back to school because
like
you were
Karl,
still
to
in high
your
school.
point, I think you grew up really before probably Grindr, probably before
I did.
Yes. Mhm.
Tinder,
Before all of
and
that.
so-
Before a
and you
smartphone
met-
even.
Don't I look good?
You met people
He had
at
a
the
beeper.
Abbey where you got to like actually have, or maybe not the Abbey, but
I
really
did.
have
I met a very
conversations.
nice Mormon boy at the Abbey once.
They are the best.
The more men, the better.
Very loyal. Very loyal.
Just bring a sheet. Okay. Okay. I want to take a little. So I was a guest on your show, and I played this. I had a few to drink before. Kurt, can we just play this little section from his show? Now, it's a very quick clip, so you have to like listen very carefully to my faux pas. I was the first openly gay Latinx person to sing the national anthem at a Mighty Ducks.
Excuse me?
Mighty Ducks. hockey
Look
Look at Adam's face.
A Mighty Ducks coffee game. Did
You were
pregame
nervous,
before
weren't
came
you?
to the show?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, but look how polite Adam is. His cute little face, like, I'm gonna be
Well,
polite here.
I'm Canadian. We tend to be a bit more polite.
The
than
land
our-
of moose and beaver.
Yeah.
You see?
Oh.
Yes, moose, beaver, maple syrup. We have our igloos. You know, we just kind of watch the U.S. in awe, and you know,
Not
it's-
anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Not anymore.
All right, Adam. We're
Things
gonna
are changing.
do a little hot topic. And Quentin, I know that you've been sitting here politely. We the rest of the show we are gonna focus on you, but I want you to join us for this. We're gonna do a little hot topic. Kurt,
Okay.
take it away.
Here we go.
The volume.
Oh, it was so exciting.
It's time for Hot Topics on the Rocks with Alexander. Better pour yourself another.
This is hot.
Drink up.
That's hot. This is really hot.
It's so hot, you guys. Okay, here's the hot topic. So I'm going to read what it is, and then you guys are going to sound off with your opinions. Influencer couples have become a thing, but on the flip side, there are also couples who don't post pictures of the other or tag them because it doesn't fit their brand, whether their social media is all like one color or all selfies or with products, or their audience would diminish if they found out their influencer was in a relationship. Hot topic. Shouldn't we expect to be included in somebody's social media if we're in a relationship with them? Or do we respect somebody's social media, quote unquote, business and be okay with being absent from it?
This is a very relevant conversation because
This comes from a few of my friends.
no,
real
because
relationships.
because I've gotten not cranky with Quentin, but of late I have said to him, you don't like any of my posts. You never comment on my, and he goes, well, you don't come up in my feed. And I was like, well, I would if you looked at my thing because the algorithm thing does that. So that's an interesting thing.
Did you really talk about algorithm and your relationship?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You are a
All the
dating
time.
guy. Love it.
It's a,
So your opinion is
no, I think listen, it depends on what stage you're at in your relationship. I think if you're both in a relationship that you both acknowledge together happily that you are a couple and it's not a secret and you're open about it, then I have an issue with scheduling and programming your life on social media. We don't program our lives on social media, but if
but
I
to
take
some people, it's literally their business.
well, that makes me sad. But I'm, again, as
But
we
it's their
said
income.
earlier, sure, until they get old and ugly, and then it's not.
But for now, it's their income. And you do know what influencers I'm talking about where
Yeah,
all of them
I
are
know.
like posting pump
But
strings and
I
they all
think-
have the same saturation.
But it's just too manufactured. That's my
I
point.
think there's a way of integrating. So if you are serious with someone and you're one of these fashion influencers, there's probably a way of integrating your partner into these fashion photographies or this food. If your Instagram is just full of food, I understand why you wouldn't have people in it. But if you have people in it and it's yourself, there's probably a way of integrating your significant other. Challenge is, if you do it too much and the relationship does not work, you then have
Then
to
you look
delete
like a
content.
fool.
See, I think that
But
that's
you-
the real
bad for
root
business.
of the problem.
But then I think, what are you focusing on? You and your brand or your relationship? Like, I feel like whatever Quentin and I do together, and it's certainly from where I come from, I'm not speaking for him, it's organic. If I post something of us, it's organic because I like the photo of us or I like the memory of us. I'm not going, oh, I better post this picture of him and I at this time to get this. And I get what you're saying. This is their business. I don't understand that world. It frustrates me and drives me mental. And I know that makes me look and sound old.
We're
can
also
have-
from a different generation.
Yeah,
Can I have
but
two Instagram accounts, like one private. and one business?
No. And I get in trouble at ABC. We posted a photo together last year. This will again get me in trouble.
Breaking news: Quentin and Karl are dating.
Let's meet Quentin.
That was the big reveal we were going to keep to later. But
Oh,
yeah,
well. No, but we posted a photo of us together in Tulum, and I'm not exaggerating. We were not wearing shirts. It was
You're
in the
in a
morning.
pool.
But you
But
you
Can
couldn't
we see that photo?
Yeah,
Can you,
I will find the. Do you find the photo? Because hang on a second. We were shirtless, but all you saw was our shoulders and my arm around him.
I know exactly what picture
You know,
you're talking about.
and I said
'Cause he had
something.
sunglasses on.
And I said no, and this was another. I said something like, "Good morning, Mexico. It's a perfect, great breakfast." That's the picture.
Oh.
Can you hold that
I
up
don't
to
know,
your
Kurt,
camera?
if you can zoom in.
Wait, can you click on? Okay, that photo. It's a little out of focus, but
Okay.
right?
And
Yeah.
someone-
That
and someone
photo
said
got that
that's-
photo got me in such trouble.
With ABC?
I'm not going to say with who, but
Sorry,
it got
wait,
me
did
in
they
such
say
trouble.
it was too sexual?
They
too
said
gay?
it. They said
What
it was highly inappropriate. And
I have a real problem with that.
well, anyway.
Especially for somebody who like helped telecast the very first Pride that was on national TV. We know you're gay.
Well, my question.
we saw you next to guys in their Speedos.
My question was, what's the problem? Is it because it's two men? Is it because he's black? If it was a photo of my father and the caption read something like "Great breakfast in Tulum," would you have said the same thing? And if
and I've seen you shirtless in other.
well, I'm not in my. I mean, look, you don't
Yeah.
even see
Hey,
nipple.
look, if you got it, flaunt it, and you got it.
Well,
But
I
it's
was,
like,
I
that's
was
like
just,
a JC Penney picture.
but I was just
like
like,
sail on trunks.
we were in a great mood. It was a good morning, and I was like,
You're entitled. You're entitled to your private life, and I think that's something that they're going to have to live
so
with.
wait, Adam. Then my question is, Adam, should I then have two accounts? Because then should that be on my private account? And if the ABC, I shouldn't post that.
Well, I think you're not a social media influencer in the sense of you don't earn, I don't think, a lot of money through posting
earn
and
no
swipe
money.
ups and what have you. So I think that you're using it for a personal purpose. You need to be true to it. You obviously need to be respectful, right? You do have a career and your stuff is out there. That's fine. You're not being naked on Instagram, but showing a loving relationship of two amazing guys that look good, that care about fitness, that want to tan a little bit. That's all positive stuff. And if you don't like it, either get on board or get out of the way. That's what I have.
It doesn't even ring like, oh, boyfriends to me. It's like best friends.
He could have been my best friend. Not
Yeah.
that. I mean, he is kind of my best friend.
Well, I would hope so.
Can I go to the
That's a lot
toilet
of
now? Can
conversation.
I just leave while you talk?
But actually, you
I'm
go
gonna
to the
go.
bathroom.
You all
Okay.
talk.
So, Quentin, I want your take on this. And I have to say, before you guys came on the show, I did look at both your Instagram because Carl's like, oh, I'm dating Quentin. And I was like, are you? And then I went to look and I'm like, I had to look. And there's a couple of pictures, but I love that it was not this planned pose, that it was very natural in your course of everyday life. You also have students. You also are with the LA Rams. And I know that there's branding and there's all of that. Yeah. Also, you have a very certain style and look to your posed photographs, which is beautiful and artistic. So I want your take on this.
It's hard. I don't know. I feel like I'm weird. I have this weird opinion where I'm like, I agree with influencers and I don't. Like, I think it's so boring to see the same chapstick.
Yeah.
Make sure you check my
or the
code.
same
You know what I mean? It gets so boring.
Shirtless.
Like,
yeah.
I think that's why also Instagram is going to kind of die in the next 2 years. And I've been saying this for a while because nobody wants to see that. Like, nobody wants to see.
It is getting old.
It's not authentic.
It's become manufactured from.
But you know what? It's because, to your point, when it paints the perfect picture, but no one's life is perfect. And it's those imperfections that make life so much fun to live.
Literally.
It's like not all these, it can't be conventional, and we've got to make sure that it feels more individualistic. And this is not only with Instagram, but dating apps as well. And not to bring it back to S'more, but one of the really important things about S'more is we want your profile to be very uniquely yours. It should look and feel and sound like you. It should not look and feel and sound like somebody else. So if I go to your profile, I want to hear your voice. I want to listen to your favorite music. I want to interact with all your favorite things and an experience that feels like you. If I'm doing that, then I get to know you. If I'm on Tinder, no shade to Tinder, but you don't even need to do anything to create a profile. The only difference is a headshot, and we see how far that's gotten us. We want to create these individualistic experiences that let you shine, let all parts of you shine, and I don't think social media has really gotten us there. It's overly structured, it's overly airbrushed, it's overly manufactured. We need more.
And as much as I downplay it, like I'll if I look boo boo in one of my pictures, I will FaceTime it, I'll Facetune it. If yeah. But I mean, I've done that. I've done posed pictures that are ridiculous. It's like, oh, you caught me in bed. No, bitch, it took me 6 hours to pose for this. So I fall victim to that because you do want to also put your best foot forward. And if you do, like I'm not an influencer at all, but I have a certain brand too. So you'll never see me in a t-shirt and jeans, or very rarely I'll So I understand that part of it too, that it's still not our authentic self. I don't think anybody has like an Instagram that's, except my mom, who posts pictures of like a water bottle because she doesn't know she's pressing the button and sending it there. That's her Instagram.
But you know what's interesting on dating apps? The pictures that get the most swipes are the ones that don't have all the filters on them. People on dating apps want to see, I mean, it may not actually be a real photo, but people want to see real photos of real people. Also, it's really interesting. The ads that tend to work best for getting people to install a dating app tend to be just people shooting with their own camera, talking about their own experiences, not these overly manufactured, overly edited ads. So it really, what works best, we know, are real people talking about real things. Then why can't we just be real? Why do we have to pretend to be someone that we're not?
Good point.
Adam,
preach.
Why don't we work on a campaign? Let's get some other influencers involved, and maybe for a week we vow not to post an edited pic. We just post actual pics.
I don't edit at my pics that much. Do you?
Well, you have perfect skin.
I mean, let's be honest. You do look, and I mean, you're
Perrier.
I mean, your skin and everything looks like it does in the pictures. You look great in person. I mean, you see me in the morning, it's like, what happened?
He will tell you different. So he's seen me in the morning.
But I think let's do a campaign where everybody has to just post the pictures naked. Not naked,
okay.
You know what I mean? No filters, no pose. Just, I want to see
I agree.
a week of your life.
I'll do like feet posts. I've really.
Oh, that's a whole lot. All right, Adam, I love chatting with you. I need you to tell all of our viewers where they can tune in every week to your fun Instagram show.
Well, this week especially, we have two amazing housewives coming up. We had Tamara and Eddie Judge yesterday on our show. On Thursday, we have Megan Edmonds, also from the Real Housewives of OC. And on Friday,
girl, I have some questions for her.
But wait, Friday, we have Vicky Gunvalson and her fiance, Stephen Lodge, will both be joining us together.
The Gumbo.
Oh my God, that's going to be crazy because, she has a lot to say, especially from leaving the show. She doesn't have those filters anymore. And Tamra?
But wait, there's also one.
There's more?
There's more.
For $9.99, you can.
One additional cast member will be added to the All-Stars. And if you're following Bravo and you watch The Housewives, they're filming an all-star season in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
There's one rumored star that will be added to the mix, and it could be Tamara and or Vicky. And I think hopefully we can find out on Friday. So make sure you're tuning in. Download S'more if you're single or if you're looking for friends, and follow S'more and me on Instagram. How about that?
Adam, you are a delight and a treat, and congratulations on all your success.
I'm going to be in LA in a few weeks.
Are you serious?
Can we?
Yes.
Will
you come?
I want to meet Adam.
Co-host.
Likewise.
We'll do happy hour, and then you'll come co-host.
I'm coming.
Oh
I'm coming
my
for
God!
You.
Yes. Well, a few of my friends.
See how I
kept
my mouth shut?
Yes. Adam, go back to bed because I know it's New York time and I know you're married, so you're in bed by 8.
True. Very true. Well, thanks so much for having me, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few weeks. I'm so excited.
Thanks, Adam. Bye-bye.
Bye, Adam.
Take care.
All right, we are going to formally welcome our next guest. We have a lot to talk about. Mr. Quinton Peron, a.k.a. Mr. Q, began his formal dance training at the age of 16 and has since immersed himself in all aspects of the dance industry, including commercial, theatrical, competitive, and concert work. He was proud to have made history upon his acceptance to the LA Rams cheerleaders as one of the first male dancers to ever dance for a professional dance team, as well as in the Super Bowl, by the way. He choreographed for various NBA and NFL dance teams, all-star teams, and dance studios all across the world. He's been featured in the 2020 Nike Be True campaign. Some of his performance and choreography credits include The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Universal Studios Japan, Carrie Underwood, T-Pain, Pepsi, Nike, To Tell the Truth, Swally, French Montana, J-Rock, Fresh and Easy, RuPaul, Good Morning America, and ESPN. He has received numerous choreographic, artistic, and overall high score awards at both the regional and national level. He's inspiring motivational speaker as well, having spoken at both the Rose Bowl's annual youth conference, #ThisGen, and the Human Rights Campaign's annual youth conference, Time to Thrive. He's not just a performer and choreographer, but he's also a versatile... Oh, versatile.
Don't
he's
stop
also
there,
a
you
versatile
fool.
artist and visionary. Please welcome Quinton Peron. All right, everybody, we have a lot to talk about. Before we get into NFL history making Quinton, I want to chat about young Quinton because I know you're very involved with youth, but there's a lot of youth that that's paying attention to everything LGBT, and they're in small towns, especially during COVID. And so the stories of how you began is very important to these to the youth. I think we could make like a Netflix show about your youth. As any good gay boy does, you played the trumpet in a school band. You were in a show choir, jazz hands. Did you naturally have these artistic hobbies? Did you do sports at all, or was it just like you have to play an instrument and then show choir? Everybody's kind of in show choir.
No, I auditioned for that. That was fun.
No, but I mean, like, why the artistic hobbies? Why not like MUN?
You played sport. He played sport.
Well, I did everything, a little bit of everything. I like to have my like big toe in every aspect of life, I guess. No, I played basketball and baseball for like 12 years.
Wow.
I actually started with baseball and basketball when I was younger, and then I did that until I realized that, let me try the trumpet. Let's see what happens. And then show choir happened, and then I was like, I like to sing. Let's see what happens.
Show choir is like that's a whole competitive world of its own. Like,
I loved it.
You know, we have like Pitch Perfect. There should be show choir, right? It was like I went to Catholic school, and our show choir was
intense.
It was not fun. It was like and your family moved when you were 11, which I think is a very interesting age. And it's not like you moved super far, but you went from Rancho Cucamonga to Pasadena, and you've talked about how that was a really important move for your life.
Yeah.
How so? And wasn't that a weird age to have to like switch everything that you knew?
Well, it was Pasadena to Rancho, and it was a whole different. It was a culture shock to me because in Pasadena it was predominantly Black and Hispanic, and then when I moved to Rancho, it was a whole different demographic where I was in Pasadena, I was one of many folks of color, but then when I made the move, I realized that there was maybe about 10 of us I was in the elementary school at the time, so there was maybe about 10 of us that I recognized, and I was like, oh shoot, this isn't, hold on, I'm confused, where are the people at? But I also feel like that helped me kind of, I don't know the word,
like formulate your identity?
Find yourself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't, like I said, I like to dip my toe in everything, and I like to hang out with everybody. Like there is no, I'm not, I don't want to say generic, but I don't stick to one thing.
Well, I think that even your dancing
Versatile
career
is probably the right word, actually.
Is it? Anyway, but I think that kind of signifies your dancing career. You know, you've done commercials, and then you're in sports, but then you're in competitive dance, and then you have this formal training. What we see in your videos, we see a mix of everything. I especially love when you go into your pirouettes. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? And so I want to talk also about dancing in high school. You know, high school is can be a mean experience for no matter what group you subscribe to. And you were in varsity dance as a senior in high school. You started a dance club on your own, and that's when you first kind of started at a dance
By the way,
studio.
can I just say, I love this because I'm learning more about him now than I have in 10 months of our relationship.
So I took dance class as a senior in high school just so I wouldn't have to do locker room stuff, because at that time my sexuality was really coming through. And I loved football, and so I even played on football. Wow. But I didn't want to be in the locker room anymore because it was too intense, and the only thing that I could do where there was no other boys around was the dance. I was the only boy in the dance, and so I would time in between the bells to change from my unitard to school, and I missed the bell, and the whole school came out and saw me in my unitard.
Like that's nightmare kind of stuff.
Nightmare, like literally, right?
I mean, no, I'd like to see.
And I was
you
just
in a
like,
unitard.
look at it, it's fine. But I was so scared, and I had my sexuality situation going on, which I know you had. But you became a very central figure in dance in high school. So how did you work out that duality of possibly being bullied, also dealing with sexuality, but this was your passion?
I want to credit my high school for there was no bullying. What
high school? I want to go back to
Los
high school.
Osos High School in Rancho Cucamonga. No, I experienced not one bully in high school.
Is that? Can I interject? Is that because
You're the co-host? Yes, co-host. Yes, of course, you can.
but no, and I say this lovingly. You're a bit of a smartass, so you have a mouth on you. Was that? I mean,
That's
you're
probably good
sassy.
defense.
No, that's what I mean.
Don't come for me.
Right? Is that because you kind of could stand up for yourself?
Well, that, and I feel like everybody minded their business. Like what you did was for you, and like, and it's weird. I know it sounds so crazy and unheard of, but at least for me, I started dance. There was multiple boys in the dance program as well, so it wasn't just me. It was about 4 or 5 at the time. No, it was. High school was great. I loved every bit of high school.
You forget, high school wasn't that long ago.
Hush.
No, you know what? He brings up a good point, because I'm doing the research on you, and I'm looking at these dates, and I'm like, wait, what? And you are very, because
I mean, it was 11 years ago. Like, that's a long time.
but you packed in this whole resume and all these experiences, and so for me, it's easy for me to think of high school as some far away experience. But that's good to hear. So maybe that's a sign of the times
that we're finally progressing.
Yeah.
That there is less of that.
and that it's being fostered by the high school.
Yes.
Correct.
I went to Catholic high school. I mean, people just turned a blind eye to anything that was going on in terms of bullying or anything like that.
No, even in my high school, we had a gay straight alliance, and it was huge. The group
Like, that was
like
the cool group
club.
to be a part
no,
of,
for
right?
real. And it was under the umbrella of a group called STAN. Socially together and nationally diverse, I think is what it stood for. It's been a while, but it was that one group had about 50 other smaller clubs in it, but it all encompassed loving each other. It all, like, no matter where you came from, we had the Black Student Union, you had your Muslim Student Union. It was so much diversity and like culture in that one big umbrella that there was no way you could. That's why I said there was no bullying, because you have these groups that, yeah, I wouldn't have talked to you because you're not one of my dance friends, you're not one of my basketball friends, but yet I'm in this club with you, and I'm in the Muslim Student Union because I want to learn more about it. And it's like it was so. I feel like everything was open.
Shout out to that school.
Yeah. I thought, well, I looking back, I guess we did have a gay straight alliance with the priests.
I
Catholic
love
high
what
school.
you've done with the set.
I also want to talk about, this is another theme that youth have been going through. You know, a lot of youth have been at home with their parents. Some of them have been kicked out during COVID with no place to go.
Yeah.
And you didn't have this like big dramatic story with your parents, but it wasn't that your choice in dance was their choice. And it wasn't, they were like, here's all the money you need for school and we're going to support you. And, you know, they were kind of like, okay, I mean, I know you had to get a scholarship and you kind of had to clean the studio afterwards and things like that. But what was it having this huge part of your life, knowing what you wanted to do at an early age? Not many high school students really know what they want to do. They have an idea, but then to not have that parental kind of support.
I knew with my parents that they are I'll believe it when you show me kind of duo. So
I just want to
That's
preface though, Sherry Lynn and Wendell are very cool parents. I mean, kudos to them, but yes.
He's also very successful. He's not like, I'm dancing at Chuck E. Cheese this weekend.
No, but no, I mean, I've spent time with these people, and then they're.
I'm just joking.
I know, but it's. I think if you, I've said this to you before. If you want something bad enough, you get it, and I think if you're a parent and you see that your child wants it bad enough, they're gonna get it, and how can you be disappointed in that?
But I think sometimes parents might also say, I love you so much, I know what's good for you. I know that this is not a good path. It's not, the popular
That's
path.
what my mother is saying as I pour this into my mouth.
Girl.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
Oh no, I think my mom's from New York, my dad's from Louisiana. So just with my mom's upbringing, she's a go-getter, and whatever she puts her mind to, she gets it, no matter who, whether it's her husband, whether it's her father, whether it's her mom, she does not care who. And I get everything from her, to be honest. So when I told her I wanted to dance, she laughed and then didn't take it seriously until the check came in. And I was like, oh, I'm paying this. I can pay water bill this month. And they were like, oh, this is serious. So I think, like I said, they didn't take it seriously until I took it super serious.
Did you feel a pressure to have to prove it to them in order for them to take it seriously?
Absolutely.
So like, I can't F this up. I've got to make it. Otherwise, they're not going to take me seriously.
Well, because most parents, they want their kids to go to college and get that formal training. What are you going to do? Major in business, Yeah. And I went to college and I didn't have to really major in anything because it was presented for me. So like all dancers are doing this, all football players are doing this. We're all going to put you in the same class. We can get you out. And it was just, I have to make sure that I prove that not only that I'm good at this, but that I can make it. And if I can prove to mom that I can make it, then screw everybody else, because she's the hardest critic.
And I wonder if that was like a compelling point too, because I mean, I've heard from other dancers that the world of dance is so, it's not like being an actor, it's not even like being a journalist. It's intense. It's not just intense with the politics and the auditioning. It's also intense on your body as well.
Absolutely.
And so I've heard that it's just physically and mentally exhausting.
That's why we don't dance, Alex.
Girl. That's why when I'm on camera, I'm like, can we raise the camera just a little bit more? I'm like,
I've
my eye.
it doesn't go down any further. I'm adjusting my nozzle.
Wow, there's so much I can do with that, but it led itself. When did your sex? Because I know you've talked before.
Your sex, what?
When did your sexuality start to become formidable? Because I know that you've always felt, your sexuality might be different. But like, did you have a high school boyfriend? Did you go to prom, or did that come later in life for you?
No, I always thought it was weird because I never had a coming out to my friends. I had 2 girlfriends in high school, and we're good friends to this day, both of us.
That's
well, the 3 of us, I guess. And I guess they knew. I guess I didn't know it was obvious, but to them it was obvious, and it didn't end in a bad way. It wasn't this whole like, you're gay, we hate you. It was
so like, let's go shopping.
I don't even understand how. I don't remember how it ended, to be honest. I just knew we went to prom together, and then
a different type of
relationship. And I guess at the time I didn't appreciate it, but now I think about it, I really do appreciate them. So shout out to Ashley and Janae, back in the day.
And then he met me.
And it was all uphill from there.
But I always took friends to prom. Again, being a dancer.
We probably went to prom to actually dance. The rest of us went to prom just to
absolutely.
take awkward pictures.
Oh no. I made sure that the group was. How do I say this without sounding rude? My date was always one of the prettiest.
Oh, okay. For that Instagram, honey.
Well, back then there was no Instagram. It was MySpace.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And still be Phil.
Oh my god. Oh my lord.
Instagram
Kirk,
didn't
do you have
come out
another
until
pun?
my senior year. So.
I want to talk about your very early career. You got booked for your first gig for Fresh and Easy.
Yeah.
A couple of years. What mistakes did you make as a professional dancer that, looking back, and again, we're not talking so many years, but you were like, oh, if I had this advice for a dancer starting out in the professional world, I would gladly give them to you because these are the mistakes that I made.
Show up on time. Give yourself more than 5 minutes of a grace period. Shut up, Carl.
Especially for dancers, because they'll be like, okay, who else has learned this combo? Get in there and do it. Yeah, we gauges cannot be on time.
It's an Australian thing.
No, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Girl, I'm Latino and gay. I mean, I'll be like 2 hours late. I'm like, oh, how long have you been here? No, but for dance, there's not even 5 minutes late. They'll lock the door and you're out.
And that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So it's still a struggle, to be honest. Okay, auditions and stuff, I give myself, okay, if it says 11 o'clock, I'm there 10:30.
Don't you have to sit there and stretch? Or
wait,
Exactly.
hang on. If I say 7 o'clock,
oh Lord, I feel this.
But it's
personal.
different, Carl.
Why is it different?
It's different because that's for a check. So you got to make sure.
Plus, Carl, you're there for eternity.
You're
going to
be there. You're gonna.
Oh, honey, we've opened up. You know what? On
why
that
don't you
note,
bring that in? Yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, so
Uberlube.
We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to play Truth or Sip. We're going to get the truth from these two. And then we are talking all about NFL and the LA Rams. So after this word from our sponsor.
I'm going to wait until after the ad.
During quarantine, we've all been a little antsy lately, maybe causing some friction at home with our loved ones, or with our loved ones, lefty and righty. I'd like to introduce you to the official lube of On the Rocks radio show, Uberlube, the luxury lube used and appreciated by our crew and host. Feeling is everything. Excitement, intimacy, anticipation, contentment. Uberlube lets you feel all the things you want to feel, and it was created with sex in mind, but with the formula so pure and perfected, why limit it to just one area of your life? Sex! Uberlube makes sex better for everyone by reducing friction, not sensation. Style! From taming frizz and conditioning ends to achieving a smooth, healthy sheen, Uberlube is a multi-purpose styling solution for salons and at home. Sport! Whether you're training for a triathlon or just keeping in shape, Uberlube provides long-lasting, high-performance chafe protection. And when travel is a thing again, check out Uberlube's Good To Go Traveler, perfect for your purse, pocket, gym bag, or carry-on luggage. The Good To Go Traveler features the same Uberlube product in a discreet traveler for your encounters with other discreet travelers. Mile High Club, anyone? If you are caught with your pants down, don't you dare be caught with anything else but Uberlube, bringing you the luxury and lube since 2002, headquartered in Chicago. And you know they know a lot about sausages in Chicago. Head to Uberlube.com to stock up. Who knows how much longer we're going to be home alone? Your loved ones will thank you, lefty and righty. Well, and for Uberlube, they've given you a discount code. I won't tell you how much because you have to go to Uberlube.com and use discount code on the rocks. Oh my God, he needs some Uberlube right now. Okay, we're gonna do one of my favorite segments. Kurt, take it away. We're gonna play a little truth or sip.
Here we go.
Quentin's not drinking. Oh, excuse me.
Truth or sip on the rocks with Alexander.
I like that your promos remind us who we're with, just in case we've forgotten it's you.
Because, bitch, they clip them together for their own clips everywhere in the world. That's how we brand. Sorry. I don't have a full production team like some people. Okay, truth or sip. So either you have to tell us the truth or you have to take a sip. And you have plenty of booze there. Okay.
Who's going first? Who's it direct?
Carl. Oh, my God. And I haven't even drank that much, to be honest. Carl, worst movie that was nominated for Best Picture this year?
Nomadland.
Ooh.
I said worst.
I think out of all the films that were nominated for, and it won Best Picture, but in my opinion, you asked, I would have liked to have seen Sound of Metal. I think Minari was better. I think The Father. I mean, sorry.
Father was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think, though, for The Father, a lot of people didn't get it unless you're actually been in that situation.
Well, you
don't
actually,
get it.
but also, and here's the danger of all those movies coming out on Netflix and Amazon and you watch on television. You have to watch it. And when you're sitting at home, your phone and your direct...
You have your iPad.
Correct. But
Postmates just shows
I
up.
loved The Father. Anyway, that's my answer. So there.
It was beautiful.
Next.
And plus, all of the movies were kind of depressing
I'll
this
drink
year.
anyway. I've upset you.
Okay. And this is for both of you, because you've both met celebrities on your way, whether from the dance world, whether from the field, whether from the red carpet. What celebrity that you've met has the worst breath?
Ooh.
Oh, God, I know that too.
And I feel bad on the red carpet, because celebrities are nervous.
You nearly trapped me because I nearly said it out loud. I'm not going to name a name,
Then you better take a sip, bitch.
but he was on Modern Family. That's all.
Was it one of the main characters?
Didn't wash his hands after the bathroom either.
It's Ed O'Neill. He doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Okay. Thanks for both.
Quentin didn't answer.
I said.
Because he's a gentleman. He didn't tell us who it was without telling us. Ed O'Neill. Okay, who made the first move in the bedroom? Truth or sip?
Carl.
Did I?
Yes.
I feel as before, like, you even got out of the car. He's like, your place?
No.
Okay. Quentin, you still have to take a sip, though, because you weren't going to answer. Quentin, has a football player in the closet approached you with a hey, girl, hey?
Not at all.
Oh, good.
Not at all.
That was an anticlimax.
Yeah, that was. I was like, ah!
Damn it.
Was that Gronsky? Quentin, is sex with a dancer better than with a non-dancer?
Absolutely. We know our bodies.
Yeah, but you guys are also tired all the time, too.
By
You're
the
like,
way,
I do this for a living.
I've done musical theater. I can dance. I did the hand jive for the New Zealand tour of Greece.
Honey, I heard you did it for Greece. For the country of Greece. I'll do the hand jive. And they're like, what? Thanks for the yogurt. Quentin, which pop star is the worst dancer?
Ooh, I love her. That's okay. I'm never gonna dance for her. Dua Lipa.
Oh, okay.
I love her. Love her music. I'm a big fan, but she tries. There it is.
All right. Carl, do you want to tell us your worst date story?
No.
Take a sip. Carl, rudest celebrity meeting. You're like, F them. I don't care what they did.
Morgan Freeman.
No.
I've told you that on this show
said
before.
that before.
No, you
yeah.
have not.
Yes, I have. I'm not backwards and coming forwards. That every time I've ever met Morgan Freeman, he's been a complete see you next Tuesday. And I'm not ashamed to say it. He is.
And you know he probably narrates that, I met Carl.
Probably. No, it's fine. He's that too.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
No, I know. It upsets a lot of people. But every time I have met him, maybe every time I've met him, he's had a bad day. He's always been very unpleasant.
Quentin, most embarrassing dance memory, and I've heard about it, so I don't know if you want to tell it.
Oh, I'm open. So, it was 2016. I was dancing at Worlds, competing for Team USA, or trying to get.
I know
bid
this
for
is
Team
one
USA.
story I do know.
And we went to Black Angus the day before. I was on a very strict diet of chicken breast, broccoli, and rice because I was trying to look fit for the stage. And I guess the chicken wasn't cooked right. So I ended up getting food poisoning. And so I was in and out. I was dying, coming out of both ways. And I hit the stage.
By the way, there's video of this.
There is video.
There is
Wait
video
a
of him
minute.
performing on stage. You can find it on. There is video
That's like a
of him.
Pitch Perfect moment.
You
where
will
she
never
throws
know
up.
because I did my job.
Yeah.
But I know the exact moment where I went for the fourth toe
There
touch.
was a little
and
You know what?
Squirt.
Cheers to being a trooper.
Cheers.
You didn't see that on Dance Moms. All right, Quentin, this is more of a challenge, and you can either rise to the occasion or you don't have to.
No,
but
do it.
A little birdie told me, Kurt, go ahead and get us started. And you can either do it for us or you have to take a big old sip.
Gulp.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, Kurt. God,
Come on, it's Hip Hop Mondays, choreo by me.
I know, but it's Tuesday.
no, but we're not playing that one.
No. Oh, Kurt wasn't ready. Do you want to come to me while he gets ready? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay, Kurt. Little birdie told me. Kurt, put it on the screen so he has the words. This is all you, Quentin. Got a little intro. Are you going to rise to the challenge?
Do it.
Oh, Lord.
Drink, have a sip.
I may have to drink.
Here we go,
Here we go.
folks.
Running hot, running cold.
I wasn't running into overload. It was extreme.
Oh.
Hey, I can't sing yet.
No.
Don't do this to me. I took it so high. So.
I think, didn't
Guys.
you want people to stay all the way to the end?
Thank you. You don't understand. I
It's
yell.
a
I
4.5
sing.
minute song. You know,
yelling.
I'm proud of you for rising to that
Why
challenge.
do I have to
You
keep
did it.
drinking for him?
Because he has to drink for you, girl.
I gotta drive.
Uber.
Uber.
Oh, okay.
Uberlube.
Uberlube.
Uberlube. All right, so
Get you where you need to go.
Apparently.
Oh,
You just got it?
No, I book me.
You know what? Get the stuff. Just get the stuff.
all right, so let's talk about NFL. This
Don't
is
you want to know how we met? I mean, you just glossed it.
we have to talk about the, we,
Okay.
we have
You know what? I'm going to
Levels.
play with this little bag.
no,
that was
do
left
not look
here.
in there, girl.
No, this is.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Sure.
So we have to talk about NFL. So I actually am a football fan.
Yes.
And it's never a world that I thought, you know what, the gays need to get in there. They need more diversity.
Can we wait? Can we talk about that outfit for a second? I'm not happy with the shoe and the pant clash.
Do you think he had a say in that? Those are probably sponsored by Cole Haan. Those are their new Cole Haan shoes with flex, and they're probably good to dance in. I just love how the girls are half naked and you are fully dressed with a smile.
I get that a lot, but I'm like, what do you guys expect me to wear?
Short shorts and a really tight shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the girls. I have to look at, if they can have cleavage, then you should be able to have butt cleavage or something.
We get biceps. They get cleavage. We get biceps. There it is.
But even the sleeve. I mean, you look. You
Okay,
look like their marketing
but hold
manager
on.
that was like,
This
I can be
was
on the field.
Year one. This was the
I'm teasing.
starting point, and I think for that they did a great job.
So,
we
but-
now have say of what we wear now or then.
But let's talk about even the Rams even having this. I never felt, like I said, that we needed to push the barriers. I mean, football's football, and I just never felt it was a world that we need to make a stand. What do you think inspired this from the Rams? Because it's a pretty bold statement for them to say, okay, you know what, we're going to have men on the team. I think a little dangerous, whether from the sponsors, whether from their fans, and we know football fans are like Star Trek fans. They are insane.
Yes.
So why do you think they said, okay, this year we're going to do this?
I don't know if it was a decision of this year. I think their whole motto, and I want to give credit where credit is due, Keely, Fimbres, and Molly, my director and our VP of marketing, once we auditioned, they said, do they fit the bill? Then why not? So I think
How novel, based on talent?
yeah.
I mean,
guess
that's
so.
what every industry should be, right?
Literally, like, if you can do the job, then why not? Like, that's the whole thing. They were like, well, if they can hang with the girls or if they can dance, and let's give them a shot.
But
So-
did they put the word out there saying, okay, guys are welcome to come to the auditions too, or you just
Not at all. I think
interesting.
as the Rams, they have always had an open audition policy, but I think people followed what they saw. So and I also heard that guys have signed up and registered, but they've never showed up to the audition.
I can't imagine it being like like I'm seeing the scene as a movie, and I'm sure someday there's going to be a movie about it of how NFL was changed.
That was in the works. Could still be.
What happened?
COVID.
Don't tell me Kevin Hart was going to play you.
Please.
Can you imagine?
No.
I'll be on the field.
Why are you loud? Because I'm Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that now. Take that out.
Girl, I can tell he has bad breath from here. But can you imagine, though, having your bag being stretched and ready, getting your number, and then, like, the door, like, you can just hear, like, all the girls there with their big hair and makeup and all that, and you hear the door, boom, and they look, and there's you. Like, I see it as a movie. I can't imagine, not only did you have that pressure of, like, I'm going to be the best I can be at dance, and cheerleading is not cheerleading of when I went to high school, especially for NFL. Cheerleading it's hardcore dance, and that's all, there's no other word for it. But then to have the pressure of knowing that, and I'm sure some of the girls were like, even though everybody was supportive, there always must be, number one, you're competing against them. And number two, you're trying to change the whole look of cheerleading. Not that you're trying to, but it would. And so I'm sure there was some resistance from the other competitors, so to say. Did you feel that pressure? You were just like, I'm just...
Well, I went in... Oh, I mean...
Or did you have nothing to lose?
That was it, because at the end of the day, I'm so used to no's. I mean, that's the dance industry. So when I chose to audition, when I called my friend Raquel, because I was at a Laker game, and I was like, oh, when our auditions, I see these Laker girls. I'm like, oh, I've choreographed to her, I've danced with her, and I'm like, why can't I do that? And I'm not saying I want to be in a crop top and booty shorts. The abs were on point then, before COVID.
When skinny people tell me about COVID,
It's a thing, you guys. So my whole goal was to try to dance with my friends again. I've danced with some of these girls in college, and like some of my first experiences as a dancer or like some of my first experiences as a competition dancer with these girls. So like, why can't I do that? So I called one of my friends. She said auditions were Sunday, and at this point it was Wednesday. And I was like, oh, well, is it too late to register? And she kind of took a pause, and she's like, there's this is like a girl thing, right? And I was like, well, it's another no, and if I get cut, at least I get cut in front of you. It's not like a...
Plus, what a story, by the way.
But isn't it... I mean, the fact that you go into it going, I'm just used to hearing no, so why not? Do you think that has changed now that you and Nathaniel have been, and now you've got two other boys on the Rams team, and now there are more boys across the NFL. If you look at Tampa Bay, and look at me knowing my football.
He hated it, but he's.
But once you get into it, you actually get into it. Football is a fun sport.
Can I?
Oh, are you kidding?
No. I've gotten better,
football.
have I not?
Yes.
Like, he was like, in our early days of dating, he's like, oh, football's back, we've got to watch. And it was Sunday, and I was like, oh, great, I'll make us brunch. And
he thought it was a 1 hour,
Who's
2 hour
doing the
thing.
halftime? No, it's just a regular game.
So I made a beautiful brunch, and I'm like, this is great.
Did you make the themed food?
No, I didn't make themed food.
No football napkins.
But I assumed...
It's so funny because gays do that.
I assumed by 12:30 it would be finished. At 7 p.m.
The sun is going down.
At 7 p.m.
Now it's halftime.
It is still... No, we were on game 4. And then I said to her, the first day that I had 4 games of football playing in my house, I said, you have to go home now. And he left, and I lay on the couch.
Him out?
It was 10 o'clock at night, and I lay on the couch, and
Are you a reverse vampire?
And I could still hear the commentary. And there was nothing on. There was no appliance on in the house.
No, you hear these things, but what I love about the game is that it can change instantly. The game is not over until after the game is over, because you never know. And there's actual things that happen during the game.
I would go to my bedroom.
You see the strategies? It's so exciting.
No, I would go to the bedroom and watch the Great British Bake Off. But all I'd hear is...
This is the strangest couple I've interviewed on my show.
Big hands.
And then you have to like jump up and shout, and the popcorn goes flying.
I got frightened in my own room. I shut both doors.
Well, you usually frighten other people in your bedroom, so. Okay, so you made it onto the team, very emotional, but were you ready for that kind of exposure? You guys were literally featured everywhere.
And thrown into...
a PR frenzy.
To the wolves.
Oh, so tell me about that.
Well, I didn't know. Again, my whole goal was to dance with my friends. So when we made the team and I get a call the next day, very early in the morning, as I'm celebrating with my friends, and they're like, "We're gonna send you a car for Good Morning America at 4:30," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm drunk." Like I was celebrating.
So
with my
in other
friends.
words, tomorrow,
Most of us gays show up on Good Morning America. Patrick Gomez, I'm looking at you. He's like,
wait, Patrick Gomez turned up on. I'm going to text him
that's
right now.
totally a joke, by the way.
No, I'm
He's going to sue
texting.
me now.
I'm going to FaceTime.
But
him.
it's a joke. But from your experience, you can tell it's a whole different world having to do those shows. They don't prep you very, and all of a sudden you're in front of a bright light.
And mind
it's
you,
early
I
in the
didn't
morning.
know. I didn't know any. Like, I mean, my teammate was there, and then there was also a girl, Emily, who was on the team before, who ended up being one of my really closest friends from the team. But
poor Emily did not get a lot of the talk time.
Well, and my thing was she had to. I mean, and kudos to her because she's still one of my favorite people ever. Like she had to really sell us to America with not even we didn't know her until we got to the makeup room.
That's actually a good point. She had to show all of the straight people in football, it's okay. We love this.
Literally.
Well, by the
she's
way,
an ally.
not only just the straight people, all the white people that these were the first two black.
I keep forgetting about that.
Not only were they the first
I don't
male.
see color. I mean,
No.
obviously I see color.
No, but you know what I mean.
I keep
Like,
thinking about the gay thing.
No, but but male and black in the NFL. So that's a big ask of anybody, unfortunately, for this girl.
Yeah.
But
She did a
now,
job. She was fantastic.
But now,
And talk about how important our allies are to representation of any minority group.
correct. But now, when you stand back and you look at your colleagues in Tampa Bay, for example, who were Super Bowl this year,
Yeah, champions.
Okay.
Champions. Shout out to Tampa Bay.
And no, but
Buccaneers.
across the NFL, is there a part of you that I know it's a bit gauche to go, oh, I'll pat myself on the back, but to go, I was part of what has made this possible and will continue to make it possible.
It's so hard because I feel like I don't see myself the way people see me. So even
I don't
like,
think any of us do that.
But also, it's like I was there to do my job, and then all of a sudden, every headline is making history.
Yeah.
Gay, black.
Right.
Right.
And then it's kind of taken out of your hands. Like, you can't go get drunk at the Abbey now. You can't be on Grindr.
Yes, you can.
That was a thing. Like we
No, I mean
wasn't at
that's
the
how
Abbey, it
we
was at
met on
Trunks.
Grindr.
Stop it. No, we a couple of us were at Trunks, and this is exactly.
This is
Stop
a
it.
story because
Hey.
you either start at Trunks or you end at Trunks, but it
started
doesn't
at
matter.
Trunks.
You're going to end up.
And I've never
Yes.
been to Trump.
You don't need
are
to.
missing out. because
I
it's
was a
great
go-
music.
I was a gold
That's what
I
we're
was
all gonna
a
go.
I was a
Yeah.
Gold Coast queen, and now that's
POC
closed.
thing.
What, the other thing about going to Gold Coast, so like this was years ago when I was down on my luck. You never had to pay for a drink going to Gold Coast.
Oh,
'cause
no,
they
can
would
I-
flash their
no,
social
no.
security check at you like.
But not only
Money,
that,
money, money.
God bless Smokey, who worked behind the bar.
Oh, Smokey.
Smokey, and
With
he
those
referred to
Bloody
me.
Marys?
I would yes, Smokey
Yeah.
and his Bloody Marys, and I'd walk in and he goes, "Here he is. It's the beauty of the bar."
That's the best impression.
Thank you.
That literally sounded just
I
like
miss
him.
you, Smokey. Anyway,
So, but it is a double-edged sword. You're spreading that word around, but you're also kind of giving up this life and being an activist when you didn't ask to be an
Literally
activist.
didn't know. I was forced to speak on things that I had no clue.
And literally all of America scrutinizing you.
Literally,
It's not like they were all there just to support you. They were like, okay, what are you going to say?
I had a great experience, I would say.
Did the Rams prep you? Like, did you have like,
Um,
here's the message we want you to say. We want you to cover this. Or
well, I think they did a great job because it wasn't just me and my teammate. There was a couple girls as well. So they had about 10 of us. Once the week of crazy headlines went, because that was nuts. Didn't
When I mean
expect any of
everywhere, I
that.
literally mean everywhere.
No,
Every
it was
major media
everywhere.
to like a small paper in some town we never
Like
heard of.
I remember I woke up and my Instagram was doing this thing where my phone was this before I had my notifications off, and it was just and I was like, oh my gosh, my phone has to
I've
turn
seen
off.
people that have, not to me, but I've seen it happen to people, and it's insane.
It's and if you don't expect that, or I wasn't expecting that, so I was like, what the heck's wrong with my phone? Oh my gosh. And then the fear of, okay, well, if people are calling my mom at work or calling my dad, and my dad at the time worked for a prison, so like, how do they have his information? Like, how are you calling my cousin who I haven't talked to for 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, how easy would it be for you to find where I live? And now then that fear of, oh shoot,
that's true too.
that fear of, whoa, like I'm doing something good, but people don't like this. From a couple of the comments, don't read the comments. From a couple of the comments, So that was, we had a big press meeting, and that was one of the topics. Like, how, I'm not saying we need 24-hour security because we are just
But you make a good
cheerleaders,
point, especially
but-
what kind of climate did we just get out of where people are going to be angry and shoot you, go to your family's house, threaten your life? I mean, we've seen it happen to drag queens. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That is kind of scary.
Yeah, and but it's the reality. Like, how ridiculous.
So walking in rehearsal after all of that,
It was
were you
funny.
just like one of the cheerleaders, or was it like, okay,
And
Mr.
also,
History
and,
coming in.
and I want to back end on that. Was it easy because there were two of them? There were two guys. There was Nathaniel and Quentin who went into it. Was it easy having kind of a wingman that you were going through it together?
I had really close friends on the team. So me walking, I mean, I was nervous for the natural, oh my God, first time on any new project.
As anyone would.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh my God, first day, okay.
like
practice,
first day of
let's
a
go.
play, like when you're doing the read through?
Literally, you
you're
have to
like-
read people. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my, first day at a reading, you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm sitting with the stars. Like, oh my gosh. But no, it was a big reunion for me because I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you since college. I haven't seen you since I choreographed for you at that high school or that dance team or whatever.
So wait, did you then feel like you had a bit of the inside edge because you did know people? Is that...
No, because I felt like, I mean, LA is big, but it's very small, especially in the dance community. And then especially within the professional cheerleader community, not everybody goes for that. So then I had a girl that I actually danced with at my studio. Like, she was auditioning. You know? So then I was like, oh, well, you're like my sister. Like, this is, like, I didn't feel like I was walking into I mean, yes, it was a brand new environment, but I didn't feel like I didn't know anything about it, or I didn't know anybody there. Like, I was nervous. I was nervous to like put my best foot forward, and I have to make sure, okay, well, I still got to prove myself to not just these girls who aren't as accepting. 'Cause there was a couple.
I don't want to focus on negative, but you know, we've heard the positive in the interviews and the headlines.
Oh yes,
I want
a
to
lot of
know,
positive.
because there are people struggling out there right now in many different industries. Hearing about you and somebody from your industry commenting on your social media posts, that's a struggle. So I want to hear about that struggle and how you work through that.
Well, I have a really big and great support team. Like, I think I don't have a lot of best friends, but the four of them that I do have are like I feel like I have 7 sisters. I guess I have one biological, and then everybody else is my sister from another mister, I guess you would say. That sounds so cheesy. But I was raised right. I feel like my home bringing is what is my backbone. Like, at the end of the day, I have to answer to Cheerleader Peron, and like, if I can deal with Cheerleader,
What name is that?
Can I tell you though? No,
That's like a Broadway drag queen that I want to meet.
No, but when you meet Cheerleader Peron, you go, Cheerleader Peron. I call her Cheerleader. Mrs. Cheerleader Peron.
I mean, it sounds like you just have to, you know?
She hates
can I
it.
tell
Like, you have to say Neil Patrick Harris.
No.
You have to say all 3 names.
But I love her. He does have the
When
the
can I meet
coolest family.
Cheerleader Peron?
We should have her in as a guest.
I would love to
Cheryl,
hear.
by the
we
way-
should do a mom episode.
We should. Sherilyn
Would your
wants,
mom zoom in?
Yeah, she would. We should do
That-
it.
Do a
That
mom
that would be fun.
episode.
Would be so
Sherilyn,
much
Sherilyn
fun.
wants to come on vacation with us.
So my mom
Atlantis Cruises.
is not.
Can you imagine?
No,
Like, oh my. I don't approve.
We're going to Greece in in a month
What
or
is
so.
with you in
and
Greece? Well, I know what's with you in Greece. Oh, girl.
I found out.
Well, you will find out.
Quentin's
Mamma mia,
not,
it's
Quentin's
data,
not,
dear.
Quentin's not drinking. you
Yes,
see.
I am. I keep refilling it.
Anyway, you
Oh,
haven't
I keep
asked
thinking
how
you're
we
telling-
met.
Because can we?
Don't we have to be off the air in 4 minutes?
We started a little bit late. Can you just calm
Oh,
down?
All right.
We're not on ABC. We have a little room here.
Okay.
Damn, girl. So can we do these a little rapid fire? Because I got these questions from fans. How much interaction do you have with the actual team?
As in the players?
Yeah.
So we are in 2 different spaces, to be honest. Like, I have a job to do, they have a job to do.
Right,
So
of course.
unless it's promos and stuff where we can mingle and stuff, if I'm on the field working on choreography, I need to work on my
Mm-hmm.
stuff, because my coach is the first one. Like, you're not dancing today, go home.
So rapid fire
So-
is not much.
Not much, unless it's promo.
Okay. What about like after parties? Like after Super Bowl, did you guys have like a big after party? Where
Oh,
all hanging
absolutely.
out?
But that
Okay.
was huge.
Did any of the players be like,
Oh, I have a rapid fire question.
yeah?
I mean, I think our what's the word? Our players are very humble, and they're very everybody's sweet. And I think that's what's cool is that from the organization, from the top to the bottom, everybody's a genuinely nice person.
Well, it comes from the top. So if that's
Yes.
if that's what was set up, and you guys being accepted was telling the team this is what we're doing as a team. What's your
Absolutely.
rapid fire.
I retract.
No, why?
If there was an NFL player you could
My
hook up
Lord!
with.
I want to know this too.
See,
It doesn't have to be on your team.
No, if there was one that you could, if there was a hall pass,
If there was a hall pass, ooh, it would have to be somebody like from way back in the day because everybody's ugly nowadays. I feel like
that's say God bless you. Next,
not a
Gronkowski.
no, you told me a story of someone there was a story you told me
I
of
like
someone
him
you hugged
dumb.
that you banked the hug. You banked the hug.
Off the record, Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I'll text him later too. What is the rehearsal schedule like for an NFL cheerleader?
We had practices 2 times a week for about 4 hours.
For the dance I see on the field, that seems like a relatively small amount of time.
We're professional, so
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah, that's
get the
like
video.
boom, boom,
You need to
boom.
make sure you're working on it.
Where do they have you get ready since it's only 2 guys on the cheer team? Do you get ready in the cheer?
For the
room?
first year when we were at USC, we all shared a trailer, and then we had our own separate room. But then the second year, I thought it was very weird because I like locker room talk, and I know it wasn't a locker room, but I think
Also, Quentin's not shy about.
Oh.
Quentin's comfortable.
Oh.
the girl's my friend.
But I could see how a girl, whether gay or not, could be like, I don't want to be
No,
changing.
and for the first year, they were
dressing. But it's
very,
just 2 of you,
they were
so it's-
very boys over there, but we were still in the same trailer. But now we were only there for a year, but we all kind of changed together. But there was bathrooms that if you wanted to like really drop and everything, you would go into the bathroom and do that. But
that's what I do.
What was the first day like on the field for a game? Were you nervous? Was there a crowd going to boo? Was they going to react to even you being on the field?
I held back tears for until halftime.
Wow.
Because then I was nervous because we had to perform. But I held back tears because the energy in the Coliseum at the time was unreal. And not only for the first preseason game, because those games are kind of wonky.
But still, like, you don't realize the enormity of an actual field and the seats all around
until
you're
it's full.
actually on. Yeah.
Until you feel I know this
Like
sounds
the
gross,
rumble.
but the breath and the rumble, you're like, whoa! I wasn't expecting this, but yeah, I was holding back tears the whole time. It was amazing. People were shouting our names and just so many cameras, and it was. I would never forget my first game. It was against the Raiders, like August 29th, if I got it right. I think so.
He's gonna cry.
I'm going to cry now, too. Of course, playing the Raiders, it's like playing old people at basketball. Is there a quick... so we know cheer is not like rah-rah cheer like high school. Is there like a cheer you can teach novices like Carl and I
yeah.
with our upper body?
He did try to teach a friend of mine once choreography at 4 a.m.
This one isn't really dance related, but our announcer guys always says when I say whose house, you say Ram's house.
We need something
So,
to...
and this is something that we always do in the
Take a
locker
piece of
room.
paper.
So when I say whose house, you guys say Ram's house. We do it 3 times. On the 3rd time, it's your loudest, so it should build.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You ready, guys? Whose house?
Ram's house.
Whose house?
Ram's house. Watch for Carl and I on the team next year.
Diversity. There it is.
I'll be in the champagne bar.
I do want to take a really quick peek at this video. We are going to get to how you guys
No,
met.
I
Don't
thought I got to
worry.
pee. It was a break. I thought,
Oh my gosh.
My God, no. Here is actually some of Quentin's choreography.
Oh, it's my kid.
And him with his kids. Let's take a look. This dance is unbelievable.
I think that was Cardi B's Up when it first came
Yeah.
out. Ta ta. Boom. Boom.
Let's
go, you guys. Hey. Booty.
Okay, so that's
who's that? All right,
no,
get
that's-
out.
no. That's next week's guest. What I love about seeing your dancing videos is, number one, I have not seen a dancer's body move that way. Your style and your choreography has a very distinct look, like a Fosse, where it's all hands and hat.
Thank you.
But your body is
It
so
punctuates,
fluid.
right? Well,
It's definite but fluid at the same time. I don't know how. It's like you split your body in 5 different parts that move like water, but then it always hits the mark. It's something I've not seen before.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's very specific,
That means
and
a
so
lot.
you can recognize your choreography.
Do you think you could do it?
No, not at all.
I can't do
The
it
only
either.
dance that I could do as well in musical theater was tap. If you asked me to do like ballet or whatever,
Wow.
like I was in Guys and Dolls, and they literally, during the crap game,
Yes.
they're like, okay, just sit on the back of the sewer and look menacing while they did all the dancing.
Sit on the back of the sewer.
Because they have the sewer pipes on. They're like, I'm menacing. But tap is something that I could do. Like I did put
I'm
on a happy
jealous.
phase, but tap is just so. I think anybody can do tap because it's hit this mark at this beat, whatever. There's no.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm talking about like very basic 3rd-year tap. I'm not talking about.
I can't
oh.
tap. I can't. These ankles do not.
I
do what they're supposed to do.
sometimes I dance for Quentin.
He's a good shoulder. Just
I do the Bill Cosby.
I cannot wait to get drunk with you guys. Did you say?
yeah,
No,
the
you did
BC,
not.
the BC.
Okay, just this comment about the dancing is what I love from watching the videos that you post with your students. I love that you don't seem to cater to anybody's age. You're like, this is the dance we're doing, because I've seen all different ages in the videos. We've seen dance studios and dance teachers that cater to a young age, and because they want the dance moms to be happy, like, my daughter looks great just doing this kind of pose. It's
Oh,
like,
no,
if
no.
you came to dance, you came to dance.
I'm afraid of Mr. Q.
But I think that that's good, because you know how like your parents were kind of rough. It's like, show us what you got. You'd be like, you came here to dance. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to cater to your age. We're not going to placate. This is the industry.
I don't even know what. Like, I have kids. I think at the 2 studios that I teach at, it isn't really age based. It's level, and with dance constantly changing, I have so many kids that are now booking commercials every other freaking Friday, or they dance for teams like the Lab, or they're again industry, or you know what I mean. So it's not a, oh, I'm 7, so I'm just gonna do step claps. It's like, no, if you're 7 and advanced, and come on to advanced hip hop. Like that's just what it is.
So then, what is your no bullshit advice to that 7-year-old and her mom who are sitting there going, my daughter can dance? What's the real truth? Did I steal your question?
No, I think it's great, because it's a
No, but then what is, from your perspective, what's the advice?
Versatility and train in all styles.
But what
Like,
about, do you have to have thick skin? Because I hear you.
absolutely.
I mean, you make me cry.
So it's not about making people cry, but I
think
also
it's like
think
having
honesty.
this is the level that everybody around me should be at, or not level. That sounds weird.
No, I know what you mean. Like,
Right.
step up or step out.
Exactly.
Which is
Literally.
tough. Which is tough love, but and in this climate, this goes way back to what we talked about at the top of the show with Adam
Totally.
about sensitivity and I must be politically correct and I must be perfect. How do you balance that as a dance teacher who is someone who has success, and when you say to a 7-year-old, you're not cutting it, like? What do you do when the parent comes at you and goes, but my little
gonna be
Celia
a
can
star."
do anything. She can be anybody. How do you manage that expectation?
Or have the conversation saying,
Yeah.
this is not
No,
your
she's
industry.
I don't have that, but I always bring it back to I was lied to in high school. Like I was one of the few boys in the dance department, and I was lied to. They made it seem like I was so good. My head was ginormous.
But wait.
Like-
I'm gonna pull you up on this, because earlier on you said there was no bullying, there was no bullshit at my school. So
Yeah.
now you're saying you were
That's
lied.
not-
Well, I
No,
was
it's
lied
not-
to by
it's
my
not
dance
It's not
teacher.
bullying. Okay. So but now the argument, if I'm being devil's advocate, goes, well, I'm just trying to positively reinforce you can be anything. If you want to be a dancer, you can be.
I wish we could stop saying that to kids. You can't be anything that you want if you don't have the talent and,
the
hard
look.
work.
It sucks. That's a if
But
you
that
want to
is
get
the
into
truth.
it, that's
Thank
we
you.
can
No,
get into it.
but that's our
That's
business.
a good teacher to
That
me.
is our
That's
business.
what you made a teacher be
Right.
like, I know, like if you can't do a math test, you get an F. They're
Yes.
not like, but they really wanted
but
to
you
do
have
well
like her
on it.
hair.
Yeah.
No, and you know, for all the crap that Simon Cowell back in the day got, or whenever we do those shows, then you go, oh, that's the big bad wolf and we have to be nice. But no,
And when he likes something, then all of a sudden, wow, then you must be really good.
you're amazing.
Yeah.
But
I'm between Simon and Randy, I guess you would say to my kids. Like I'm the one that you can have fun to, but also I'm
Randy.
like that was trash. Do
And
it again.
you would nurture somebody if you saw the talent, but it's like, I think there's a lot of money that parents especially put towards their kids,
Especially in dance, Alex.
especially in dance. And I'll tell you, I watched Dance Moms backwards and forwards, but I think that show did some discredit to
Absolutely.
the actual dance world, to the competitive world,
Absolutely.
and to expectations of their kid being a star.
Right. Well, because now it's all about being a star. It's not so
That's
much
such a
about.
good
It's
point.
not such.
That's a
It's
really good point.
it's not so much about the talent. It's about being a star. And this even goes back to what we talked about with Adam and your point when you said, well, but it's my brand. Do I introduce my boyfriend? It's all about building a brand. But can we just get back to fundamentals and talent?
But
It's
I'm
about
nervous that
talent.
after the success of TikTok and the TikTok stars, after the success of all these influencers, I don't think we will ever get to that time unless it is.
You don't think we'll get back there?
Unless there is
So
a
what-
complete social media shutdown and everything deletes.
That
We
won't
had this
happen.
conversation with Rylan from Glee, and he went from Glee to being a solo pop star, and he said,
Oh, he's great.
he's
Rylan.
really good
I'm
friends.
going away.
No.
I have to.
Oh my God. So how did you guys meet?
Yeah.
Get him back in there.
No, but he was also talking about the harm of like TikTok and even reality shows. It's a false expectation of what the actual dance industry asks of you.
Yeah.
But I think Carl brought it up. It's like, being a star is not enough. We interview a lot of people in the entertainment industry, half of which have been in the industry and have made it work, or the newbies that are on this new MTV show or a new CW show.
Or
And-
a Netflix show now. Apparently, those are the things.
Well, afterwards, I'm going to tell you about a dance show I interviewed. And, come here and they do an interview that's like, oh my God.
Blah.
And it's like, I want to talk about your craft. What was your creative process with the acting, whatever. And they're like, and it's all about being a
Wonderful.
star. And that's just not good enough.
I don't. Oh, it's hard because I do believe in it. I think if you have it, you have it, and nobody can take that from you.
But no, so nobody
And-
can teach you to have
And
it.
and I say it all the time. I'm like, because I have so many parents that are like, oh my gosh, well, why isn't she getting this? And I was like, you guys don't understand. Like, as I only competed with my studio for 2 years, then I graduated to college and other things, but I never won. And it got to the point where there was 11 graduating seniors that year, and they did a top 20 at one of the competitions. Shout out to Rainbow. And I was the only one of my studio out of the seniors who was sitting in the wings, and I was so supportive. Yes, it was embarrassing. Yes, but I that never destroyed me. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine all your friends they're like 8th place, so and so, such and such, Taylor, Sam, and you're like, oh, am my name gonna get called? Oh, my name never got called. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? But that never destroyed me because I always knew that. Okay, well, first of all, I'm a mess. Second of all, I know where I want to go. I want to dance better than them. I know I'm not there yet, so there has to be some kind of truth to.
And it's
what
also
we're
like
doing.
I think that's what sets the professionals aside. It's like you knew enough like for self-assessment and then be like not so jealous. We in the entertainment, and I'm using the generic, we tend to get very jealous of each other.
Yeah.
When we don't have to be jealous of each other because what everybody does is totally separate from if we're all succeeding, then we're all succeeding.
There's enough winning for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't understand that phrase. Like, it's not the entertainment person, it's the entertainment industry, meaning there's more than one person that can succeed. And it's so frustrating when people can be so nasty and so, like you said, jealous. And it's like, we don't need that. Like, and I try to not to have, I think there's competition is good. I think you need to be competitive, but I think nasty.
Because it helps you be your best.
But I think being nasty is not okay. And I'm trying to bring that out of my kids where it's like, I need you to want to beat her, but I also want you to love her and support her when she does well.
It's funny
Like,
because they're seeing this on TV. They're seeing it on Dance Moms. They're seeing it on Bravo TV.
Which is
where
not-
nasty people kind of get their one-liners
Thank
out
you.
and all that kind of stuff. And to the red carpet stuff. Somebody being funny.
He's back, everybody.
Carl's back. But being nasty to make a one-liner is just it doesn't work.
Well,
you have to have sincerity.
it doesn't work.
It
Who's
has,
gonna check me, boo?
No,
that would probably be on my headstone.
but you're right. It doesn't.
Who can check me, boo? It's
But
not a
it
great
doesn't.
headstone,
But
by the way.
Alex, it doesn't work. And
Shit by Sheree, by the way.
I don't think anybody wants to see anybody be nasty. Again, it's a
But we
fine
think it's funny
line.
because we see like on Drag Race, we see some nasty things that get memes, and then everybody's tagging it. And it's like it's not even that funny.
But it lasts for 3 months, and then that's it. People need to understand that, like,
But their social media then grows, and then they
And but we're putting,
cash me outside. How about that?
No,
that
but-
nasty girl. She made what $1 million
In a day.
Yeah. No, it was in like 3 minutes.
I'm
when
going to
she
sit and
hit
pretend
OnlyFans.
like I know what they're talking about. But
You don't know the Cash Me Outside. How about that?
She was on Dr. Phil, and it was 4 years ago, I think.
I thought it was longer.
She's a multi-millionaire for being a nasty. That's all she has.
Yeah,
but
then what happens?
I think that's the problem that we
she
have.
still has millions of dollars in the
For
think that's
now,
the problem,
but
is that
Alex,
we-
she has it now. And then what?
But my thing is, this is why I said earlier at the show, or at the top of the show, that I was like, I have this battle of to do or not to do when it comes to influencing. Because it's like, yeah, like, I can be super generic and just look at my, what water is this?
No, you
365
want
Whole
you
Foods
want the
water.
polar
You know
cherry
what I mean?
seltzer.
We love the seltzer. And
it's not
yes,
as sweet, though, which is...
It's pretty good.
I don't know. I got the 3-week-old Canadian Club, which
Canadian,
I'm fine
Canada
with.
Dry. But no, you get like
I almost said something.
you have you can live in this limelight for X amount of days, months, or a year or two, or in her case 4, and yeah, you can build this huge following and people. You just said "Catch Me Outside," how about that? And everything. At least people in my generation were like, "Oh, that's the redhead."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But my question is, in 10 years, are you going to be
But
go,
you're right,
oh,
and then
that's the
it's like
redhead?
this.
But
And-
then it's the money aspect about it.
Yeah,
That's
but
like,
money
if
go-
you're smart,
$1
if you're
million
smart with
doesn't
it,
go that far
if she
then.
would have invested $3 million in Dogecoin, she would be balling right now.
This is why
Catch
we're
me
a
outside.
happy
She
couple.
probably... But here's what I'm saying. But you know what? I mean, it's such an interesting conversation about
Yes.
entertainment industry in general. It's like, do you want to be a flash in the pan now and achieve that, or
longevity?
and like you said, the best thing, and I think it's such a great thing to tell people, whether you're a dancer or an actor or whatever. We have a lot of entertainment people listen to the show because they love to hear advice. The fact that you said, I get so many no's, and so I thought, you know what? If I get another no, I get another no. It's not a negative thing. I think that's
No,
such a great attitude. It's
but
like, I'm still working at it, and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
going to show up.
And I think that all the no's you get force you to make yourself better for the next time.
Exactly.
And if
Unless you
everything
get too many no's, it's time to...
No, but okay, but so my counter to that is if you have the belief in yourself that this is what you're meant to do and you're good at, all the no's in the world will never stop you. If you want it bad enough, if you want it bad enough, you get it. You do. And at some point people go, okay, I give up and I'll go back to wherever I came from. Well, maybe you didn't want it as bad as you wanted.
You
But
know,
it
Carl,
sucks.
we've never talked about the no's that you've received. We've talked about the success that you've had on camera. You've covered so many different things in so many different ways. What kind of struggles did you have
Oh, God.
when hitting the screen? How many no's did you get?
I will tell you very honestly, for as hellish as the pandemic has been for most of us, the last 12 to 18 months have been sort of professionally wise the best of my career. And it's
I'm going to second that. I've never in my entire life.
no, and it's because we work in a medium and to toot our own horns for a second, we were sort of unaware of ahead of the game by doing the format that we've done, in that we could video and we could do this and it was sort of separate. We were doing this because, let's be honest, we couldn't book the guests because they didn't want to meet us in person, but you could get a video. No, but you know what I mean? And
celebrities were at home bored and they're like, not only will I come to your show, but I'm going to talk about everything because I am bored at home.
And so I'm not going to lie, but
And I'm not putting myself
no,
on the same level as you,
but look,
it's been very lucrative.
I have been, here's the myth, and this is television and Hollywood and Rams cheerleading and it's social media. We all brand ourselves to look fabulous. The reality is that in the last 18 months, finally, and I'm 40, I'll be 41 this year. Finally, starting when I was 7.
When's your birthday?
September 16th, and his is the 13th. We're both Virgos.
Virgo gang.
I'm a Virgo too.
But it goes like, the business goes like that, right? And I'm very lucky that right now Plus Life and all that we're doing is doing well. And my partner on Plus Life was the man that gave me my very first job when I moved to Los Angeles at TLC, and he also fired me. So
that's funny.
But it's also the same.
A small circle, like you said.
But can I tell you, it's also the same man that hired me to do the royal wedding that you mentioned. It's also the same man that gave me Operation Vacation, however many years ago. And now we're partners with another colleague, Mike, and the three of us are producing Plus Life, and now we have Transcend, which we just launched. I mean, we're doing all this stuff, and so yeah, there's a lot of no's, but it's a stubbornness. It's you go, it's a stubbornness and it's an arrogance. I fundamentally, I know I'm good at it, but I also know that I love doing it. I love it. I come alive. I will do my other job and at the end of the day be cranky, and I have to do an interview or something for Plus Life, and I go into it and I put on the headphones and everyone's in my ear because it's Skype or whatever, and I'm like, and we come off 20 minutes later and I'm in the best mood of my life.
You just described my life and how I feel.
Yeah.
In what you just said.
And we're very lucky that we get to do that. And that goes back to what I said. If you want it bad enough, you don't give up. You persevere. You do the shit jobs. And I've done the shit jobs. I have done the shit jobs.
What's the shittiest job that you did? Because I see this passion and I'm like, okay.
I have, what's the shittest job I've done? I don't know, but I have posed for photographs for a large sum of money to pay my rent. So I'll put that out there. No one's ever heard that.
What website?
Was it JustFor.Fans?
Did you get to how we met? Uberlube.
Okay, so let's finish with the show. I do want to know how you guys met. So
we are dating. Did you figure that out yet?
I think we all know, girl.
Can I tell you, I brag it and bring it up all the time because
I don't think you bring it up all the time.
No, but it's
very organic. Like we said, how important
you've had me on the show a bunch. I didn't date. I gave up. I was HIV positive. It was never going to happen. I stopped. I didn't believe it was possible. And even after I'd come out publicly and I knew about undetectable equals untransmittable and U equals U.
Say that again for the back row.
Undetectable equals untransmittable.
Slower.
If you're HIV positive and undetectable and you have sex with your partner, you can't give them the virus.
It's still a tough message, I think, to bring out because even the gay community is like, we hear the word and we recoil. It's like, but I think media is doing a better job, like shows like Pose and other shows are having this conversation with the younger generation that was not exposed to it. They don't even know how to have this conversation.
Well, I'm HIV positive and undetectable. My boyfriend is HIV negative. We occasionally have sex and it's really hot. And it's...
This is a relationship type that's happening in our community over and over again.
Over and over again.
And there's also couples that don't get educated on what that even means.
Well, you should ask him what it means because he came in.
That's a whole
well, no, wait. He came into the relationship. And
but how did you guys meet?
For Rams. So
was it the Rams challenge?
No.
I was gonna.
ABC7 did a Pride special last year for LA Pride.
I read about it in your.
Yes.
It was called the Rams Challenge.
And this year we're celebrating. Actually, this year is 50 years of LA Pride, and there will be no Pride parade. But again, we're doing it like last year on ABC7 on June 12th. There'll be a big Pride to do,
by the way.
But
has to be a part of it.
But I was tasked to interview the Rams cheerleader. So I interviewed his colleague, and then 20 minutes later I interviewed him, and he thought I just put on the pickup line to both of them, which I didn't.
What was the pickup line?
Well, nothing. We did a Skype interview.
I'm sorry, Kurt, we're going over. This is fascinating.
No, we did it. We did a Skype interview, and at the end of the Skype interview, like I do typically with everyone, when we stop the roll, I DM them and go, "That was great, fantastic, thank you."
Didn't with my Skype. Yeah.
We didn't do a Skype interview, but with him, I said, "Thank you, that was great, you were fantastic.
Here's my number.
Now I'm probably gonna stalk you on Instagram or something." Didn't I say something like that?
Yes, and I was like, "Oh, he's gross."
And he was like, "I'm gross."
No, but let's be honest. Like that's probably not the first thing that you got, like a DM or whatever.
No.
And he thought I'd done that
to
his colleague.
Have you ever done that?
No, actually, no. I know, and it's funny.
Again, not like but I never DM something like that because.
Well, it seems tacky.
Right. So for you to have done that must have been very vulnerable for you.
No.
What was it about his energy that you were just like?
Well, as I said, I had interviewed his colleague 20 minutes prior, who's charming and lovely.
But the poor guy is like,
no, but charming and lovely. And then he popped on, and I was like, "Oh, hello." And I don't know what it was.
But what was it about him?
It was his energy, and he was cute, and it was.
But you interview a lot of people with energy that are cute. It's your job.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
So when did it go from that creepy DM to you like, okay?
I think it was the whole Black Lives Matter movement in West Hollywood. I had posted a picture on Instagram because he was stalking at that time. I'm kidding. With my best friend.
This was a romantic story.
It's very romantic. And yeah, I posted a picture and he was like, "Oh my God, that's like right down the street from my house. Like you're right on the corner." And I was like, "Oh, well, margaritas on Sunday." Joking.
It was literally.
And literally,
You said margaritas on
No,
Sunday?
no, he said that. I didn't say that.
Oh, so you kind of made.
Excuse me, I made French champagne at Soho House on a
So when he was
Friday.
interviewing, you must have been like, "Oh, there's a cutie interview."
No, I was like, I opened up my computer, I logged in, and I was like, "Oh shoot, it's cute. Okay, get yourself together."
Say, that was cute.
I said margaritas on Sunday, so you showed up at margaritas on Sunday.
I know that's
what
what
were you wearing?
No,
This Ellen DeGeneres outfit?
No,
or
wait,
what?
this is perfect. Now we're going over.
Poor Kurt has to go home to his straight wife who's expecting a baby, and he's like, "Oh, these gays."
Yeah.
This is better than
This
a
is
baby.
fascinating, Kurt. I'll pay
No.
overtime.
So he had posted. It was the day of what was
Finish up, by
I
the way,
guess
this is
meant
over
to be
here.
Pride and everything. But remember, they did the big march through from Hollywood to West Hollywood instead of the Pride march. They did that. So he had posted this picture, and I was at my best friend's house, and I went, "Oh my God, you're at the bottom. You're literally at the end of my street." And he goes, "Oh, we should get margaritas on Friday." And I went, "Sure, come over Friday." And so fast forward to the next Friday. First of all, it was very expensive French champagne. And then we went to Soho House for a date.
Who took who to Soho House?
I took him to Soho
I think that is so pretentious, and I don't think that you should do that for a first date. But it obviously worked.
Well, it worked.
Did that impress you, or like what?
I
was that
wasn't.
turning
No, I
point?
wasn't trying to impress. Yeah, what was the turning point?
But
Well,
here's my thing, and I gave this when I was on Adam's show. This is the advice I gave. Like, if you like to go to a flea market and Panda Express on a Sunday morning, then do that for your second date. But even like for the first date, don't do something so over the top.
It wasn't, but for me, it
ridiculous.
wasn't over the top. I
Knowing
really
him now,
enjoyed.
that
I've
wasn't
never
over
seen
the
you at
top.
Soho House.
Well, he's always there.
I'm always there. I really. For me,
You scratched my car.
that was me.
Oh.
Answer the question.
Anyway, you know I'm teasing you.
Answer the question. He came to my house and we had a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, well,
That's very sweet.
I didn't grow up in the LA life, so I have friends that are like, "Oh, I go to Soho House all the time," and I'm like, "Oh, but I've never been, didn't know what it was, but I knew
But you
what
hear
it
about
was."
it, it's like, oh, we should go.
It
once.
sounds nice, but it's also sounds like the Abbey. Like, so we went, and I mean, it was very pretty. It was a perfect night because I felt like the sun never set, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like we got there
you
like
guys.
5, and it felt like we were there forever. But the sun never went down.
Wow.
I was like, "Wow!"
Until Carl did.
No, but it was beautiful. It was a fun night. The sunset was there. Lots of what did I have that day?
I think you were drinking
I was
Moscow
being-
meals.
I was being
Soho
nice.
meals, and I
Yes,
was drinking
Soho
martinis.
meals.
But you know what? Here we are, 10, almost 11 months
But I
later.
wonder, like, when that actual shift happens, because we've all had like fun drunken nights. At
I haven't
beautiful
had
hours.
this in 15 years.
But he didn't know that. You know what I mean? We just figure like Karl Schmid is on the air, and
yeah,
So, like, when was like I'm gonna date this guy?
Oh, well, we hung ever since that Friday night. I was at his house every weekend, so it was like, it became like the.
And I don't think we've we annoy each other, but I don't think we've annoyed each other to the point of get lost.
I give up.
I'll tell you this, and
Everybody should know. Like, the perfect couple does not exist.
No,
That's
but
not what-
I will say
Not
this.
at all.
We're both our birthdays are 3 days apart. We're both Virgos,
Virgos do not
and
get along.
we
have great sex. We do not get along.
but we're also dangerously similar. And the reality is, and correct me if I'm wrong.
It's so weird because for me on this side, I couldn't think of more two opposite.
Correct. But and I agree. But because we are so sort of in that annoying, like I'm gonna push your button way, similar, it goes like this. We either like we push, and one of us goes, I should just stop because it won't go well. Instead of I'm gonna wait for it to explode. So that we haven't had a big screaming fight. I think we've had moments where we've both challenged each other, and at some point one of us goes,
I'm done.
we're both the same, and so I'll be done. And we weirdly, adult-like, we talk about shit. And when there have been problems, like when I've gotten in a sourpuss sulk mood and been a little shit for 3 days,
I'll see you next Tuesday.
he will say, okay, should we talk about it? And I go, probably. And we talk about it, and then it's kind of done. And as to what I was saying earlier, and I know we're over and we need to wrap this up, but I have never in my 40 years of life had a relationship where that happens. And for the 10 years of being HIV positive and thinking no one wanted me, and now I have this hunk of spunk who challenges me, but we also have very
versatile artist.
But we also have very frank, honest conversations with each other. I have a very good friend who is been in a 3-year relationship where all they do is have these epic fights. We haven't had that, thank God.
There's no time for that. I work too much.
And we make each other. We also make each other laugh. All right, I'll shut up. Uberlube. I'd like to thank.
So I
Uberlube.
just got a message from the room. It's like, what has been one of the biggest fights that you guys have had?
Oh, Bosnia.
And this is nothing.
Oh, so it's been political?
We've gone to Bosnia. No, we went to Bosnia.
No,
Oh.
yeah. So
There
over
was some political thing. You're like,
No, oh,
he didn't pay the hotel
no.
room.
We went to Bosnia for Christmas by accident.
If you can travel with somebody, that means you can weather anything. Because traveling with somebody, is
we
the most
travel really
difficult.
well.
yeah, and that was
So,
that was the biggest
in
test,
Bosnia-
to be honest. Well, there was a blizzard, and he's driving a stick, and
We
I
had
couldn't
to
help.
we had to get COVID
like-
tested to get back into America.
Yeah.
So we're on our way to the COVID test, but
With the
my
snow.
Waze is taking us on a very steep
In
incline
a stick.
to then
sounds like
have
an
to come back.
AbFab.
In
episode.
like a Mazda 323.
This sounds like a funny
it was
sitcom.
bad. No, I mean it could have been.
No, the road went from this to this.
one lane, and then now we
And
went
then
from
up a hill
we
in a
went from
blizzard.
city to residential. So now we're in these houses,
Mountainous.
backyards. It's mountainous, and then they're like, okay, well, make it right here, and I'm like, well, the road isn't even paved, and it has snowed for about a day, so it's like a good 4 feet of snow, and I'm sitting there stressed in the passenger seat, and he's like, okay, we'll have to make. I was like, make it right, and he's like, well, I can't, and I was like, why is it saying this? And then we start drifting.
The car started sliding down the hill, and we got out of it, and then weirdly we slid down the hill and turned the corner. We were at the clinic we were meant to be at, and we both sat in the car, and I went, that was
That's
about
going to be in the movie.
that was going to be the
this
fight.
was a fight.
It's gonna be
But
ridiculous.
Alex, we haven't had
Alexander Smitty.
Alexander. Sorry,
Oh my
we
God,
haven't
sorry.
had a screaming blow up fight.
I don't believe in that, because at the end of the day, if we're at that point, then we shouldn't be together. If I've had a lot of friends' relationships, my parents are still together, and there's only been one instance where I was like, "Ooh, that they crossed the line." So and I have friends that have been in relationships, and I'm like, if there's a moment where I'm being nasty, I don't love you and I don't like you,
and
we
neither
should
of
not
us
be
want to
together.
hurt it. I
Like-
never want to hurt him. So and vice versa.
I'll be petty. He'll be petty too.
Oh, petty
Petty
Peron.
Peron.
Petty Peron.
And he's just as petty.
I'm not
but,
petty.
But there's difference between petty and nasty, and if it ever gets nasty, then I think that people need to understand that it's never gonna work.
I love chatting with you guys so much, and you've shared so much about being HIV positive in a relationship, which I think is so important, and we probably should do a whole show about that.
Well, kudos to my HIV negative boyfriend, who's not on PrEP, by the way, and we have a very healthy, happy. If Sherry Lynn's listening, we have a good sex life. We have sex.
Like I wish we had more time because I would ask about, and I know from my own, there's a little like danger in entering a relationship. Not danger in terms of just like your own personal fear, because
of what you've
we
been
don't know
told.
enough. That's exactly right. Anyway, on that note, Kurt, I'm so
Next
sorry.
week's episode.
I'm so glad you can go to Disneyland again.
Thank God Kurt can go to Disneyland.
Thank God, because
Go on, go on
Goofy.
that Rise of the Resistance ride. Have you done it yet?
Oh, honey, he
Isn't
went on
it-
the rise. That's
it's
why
amazing.
he's going to welcome a baby in August. We're very proud of you.
You made a baby. Does she know the father?
I think it's me. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I still think of Kurt as like
I don't
like
imagine.
this
I don't picture Kurt.
16-year-old intern.
I don't
but
picture Kurt making a baby.
He's a full adult.
He's a grown.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Uberlube.
How can you sing that well and then?
Not that other song.
Because that was in my key. That one.
Can we hear
was-
it like a little? Kurt,
Absolutely
Kurt,
not.
Kurt, Kurt,
Nope.
Kurt.
I'll sit
No,
for
no.
that.
No. Come on.
Come on.
Just sing a little phrase.
I don't
of what you were
sing.
about to, it's fine, but
In your key.
I don't sing.
just do like a little because I just heard. Can I just hear a little something?
All I said was that Kurt was a.
Do something from The Wiz. You know you love The Wiz.
Just do like a thing. We have to go, so send us out on a good note. Do like
Sing
a
us
little,
out.
You guys.
What's that song from The Wiz? I'll sing it with you.
Which
The
one?
Wiz is my favorite.
The
like,
Diana
yes.
Ross, the
Now
big
you're
finale.
correct. No, I
No,
sing
the big
Lion song, of
the big
course.
finale one where it's the 100.
I mean, I kind of like Michael Jackson's "You Can't Win."
Do
a
it.
little better.
Okay,
Let's go.
Let's hear.
You
My mic
can
was-
win.
You can't win.
That's it. I don't know the rest of the words.
Thank you
but I
so
like
much.
it.
That was okay.
I can't.
Quentin, tell our audience where you want them to find you and follow you.
You can find me on Instagram at It's a Quentin Thing. Likewise on Twitter, and then on Facebook and everything else, it's Quentin Peron.
Yes. Carl.
You can find me on It's a Quentin Thing when he tags me, because that's what a good boyfriend does. And if not, Plus Life Media is the website, pluslifemedia.com, or follow us at Plus Life Media. We're turning positive into a plus with the HIV. So
Come on, Plus
join
Life.
along.
You guys, every week it's always a grab bag of fun. You never know who's going to show up. Thank you to our fabulous guest, our engineer Kurt, our intern Alexis Mendez. Oh my lord. And also Mama Rose for doing some of our research.
Love Mama Rose.
Yes. So we're going to see you. Please like, subscribe. Oh my lord. Kurt, and congratulations on your baby. Baby Yoda. That's the only
That's
name that's gonna
rude.
exist. No, he's a Disney Star Wars
Yeah,
fan.
but if it's green and
I used to work at Disney
lumpy,
back in the
We
day.
will still love her.
I won't.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next Tuesday.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay